Chapter 3490. Further down the line. This was the birth of a tragedy. Di Wudao, the son of the Heavenly Emperor, had joined Lin Beitian because he wanted to improve his cultivation base and defeat Lin Beitian one day. However, he realized that Lin Beitian's cultivation base had improved too quickly. Although his cultivation base had improved quickly as he followed Lin Beitian, there was still a huge gap between him and Lin Beitian. Therefore, Di Wudao's jealousy of Lin Beitian grew. Jealousy. It was the most terrifying emotion. This was because once a person developed feelings of jealousy, it was very likely that they would do anything. Di Wudao was too jealous of Lin Beitian and could not surpass him. Therefore, he wanted to destroy Lin Beitian. However, killing Lin Beitian wasn't an easy task. Lin Beitian's followers were extremely powerful and a few of them were as strong as Di Wudao. Therefore, he had to use some special methods to deal with Lin Beitian. Lin Beitian was a rising star of the human race. Although he was young, his reputation had already spread far and wide. Di Wudao thought of the Black Mist tribe, which had a blood feud with the Sovereign Emperor tribe. Therefore, Di Wudao sought out the Black Mist tribe and joined forces with them to deal with Lin Beitian. Di Wudao had been looking for an opportunity to strike, but did not dare to do so in the end. Lin Beitian was too much of a threat to him. Di Wudao would never forget how Lin Beitian had killed the nine-headed Yuan Sage Great Celestial in one move. Even his father would not dare to say that he could kill a nine-headed Yuan Sage Great Celestial in one move. It's not impossible to deal with Lin Beitian. You can start with his wife and son. I'll teach you the Dao severing art. You can attack Lin Beitian's son and sever his great Dao and destroy his Dantian. Lin Beitian will be distracted, and that will be our chance. A powerhouse from the Black Mist tribe said sinisterly. The Black Mist tribe will deal with Jilonger and Lin Beitian's son. I'll sneak attack Lin Beitian at the critical moment. Di Wudao said. The powerhouse from the Black Mist tribe thought for a while and nodded. All right, no problem. We'll strike in 3 days. 3 days later, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Soon, it started to rain heavily. According to the plan, Di Wudao went to find Lin Beitian and sent him away. The Black Fog tribe's experts arrived at Lin Beitian's residence. These people from the Black Fog tribe sealed the courtyard. Then he broke in. Black Fog race. Jilong-er's face abruptly changed. That's right. It's us. Jilong-er. Your time of death has come. More than a dozen Black Fog tribe experts sneered and joined forces to attack Jilong-er. A great battle broke out between the two sides. Jilong-er had just given birth to Lin Feng not long ago, so her body was still relatively weak and could not withstand the attacks of more than 10 Black Fog tribe cultivators. Jilong-er was injured. The cultivators of the Black Fog tribe took away the infant Lin Feng. Return the child to me. Jilong-er quickly chased after him. Lin Beitian and the others were discussing how to enter a dangerous place to find a treasure that would greatly benefit their cultivation. Lin Beitian and the others rushed out after hearing the commotion. What happened? Lin Beitian asked anxiously. Black Fog tribe. They took away our child. Jilong-er said with a pale face. Take good care of my wife, Lin Beitian said, then rushed into the sky and quickly chased after them. After Lin Beitian chased after them, Di Wudao also chased after them. Lin Beitian's speed was extremely fast and caught up with the Black Fog tribe cultivators. Lin Beitian, you're too late. Your son has been injured 3 times by us before he could even cultivate. His Dantian was also destroyed by us. From now on, he will be a cripple. A Black Fog tribe cultivator laughed loudly. You all deserve to die. Lin Beitian's voice was cold. He took a step forward and the entire world froze. The experts of the Black Fog clan were instantly frozen in the void, unable to move. Lin Beitian took another step forward. Bang, bang, bang. Next, the sound of bodies exploding could be heard. More than a dozen Black Fog tribe cultivators' bodies all exploded. They did not know what kind of powerful technique Lin Beitian used to be so terrifying. Such battle prowess was truly shocking. Lin Beitian hugged the infant Lin Feng. Looking at his son's weak breathing, Lin Beitian's killing intent was monstrous. 6 paths of reincarnation. Lin Beitian quickly healed Lin Feng's injuries. At this time, Lin Feng had just been injured and still had time to recover. Under the cover of the 6 paths of reincarnation, Lin Feng's body quickly recovered. At this moment, Di Wudao was the first to chase after them. 9 stone swords appeared and slashed at Lin Beitian. Di Wudao's 9 stone swords were about to pierce through Lin Baiyan's body. Suddenly, the space around Lin Baiyan's body distorted, and Di Wudao's 9 stone swords could not move an inch forward. Di Wudao, you dare to trick me? Lin Baiyan's eyes turned cold. You? Di Wudao was shocked. He had been by Lin Baiyan's side for many years, but he did not expect Lin Baiyan to be so powerful. One had to know that Lin Baiyan was mostly focused on Lin Feng, healing Lin Feng's injuries. However, Lin Baiyan easily blocked his attack. Then, how strong was Lin Baiyan at his peak? It was hard to imagine. Die. Lin Baiyan was also a decisive person. He had already guessed the whole story. It was Di Wudao who colluded with the Black Mist tribe and almost killed his son. Lin Baiyan slapped at Di Wudao. No, no, no. Give me one more chance. Spare me, spare me. Di Wudao cried out in fear. Originally, Di Wudao didn't think that he was a person who was afraid of death. Only now did he realize that even in the face of death, he would still be afraid. Di Wudao could not block Lin Baiyan's attack. Just as Lin Baiyan was about to kill Di Wudao, a figure silently appeared between Lin Baiyan and Di Wudao. Father! Di Wudao was overjoyed. It was his father, Heaven Emperor. Bang! Lin Baiyan and Heaven Emperor collided. Both sides took 3 steps back. Lin Baiyan's face darkened. He tore open the void and left quickly. Wah! After Lin Baiyan left, Heaven Emperor spat out mouthfuls of blood and collapsed to the ground. Father, how are you? Di Wudao could not believe his eyes. His father, the powerful Heaven Emperor who controlled the undying world, was injured so badly by Lin Baiyan. Moreover, Lin Baiyan had probably only used 30% of his strength just now. Chapter 3491. Lin Baiyan reversed fate and saved Lin Feng. But because he was poisoned, his combat strength dropped tremendously. After many factions heard the news about Lin Baiyan, they all attacked. They wanted to kill Lin Baiyan. Lin Baiyan's followers were extremely loyal to him, even though they knew that they might die if they continued to follow Lin Baiyan. But still, no one left. In the battles, many people were killed. Finally, in that place in the Chaos Star Field, Lin Baiyan and the others were surrounded. At that time, the poison in Lin Baiyan's body relapsed. Lin Baiyan suppressed the poison in his body with all his might. Therefore, he couldn't divert his attention to deal with those pursuers. Lin Feng's mother, Jilong personally led people to fight against the pursuers. In this battle, except for Jilong who was captured by the Black Fog race, the rest died in battle. The battle was extremely tragic. Later, the powerhouses of the various factions surrounded Lin Baiyan and the others again. And in this battle, Lin Feng's uncle died in the outer space world in order to escort Lin Baiyan and Lin Feng away. After landing in the 9 states, Lin Baiyan narrowly escaped death several times. Finally, he managed to neutralize the poison. Scenes appeared in Lin Feng's mind. Lin Feng originally had a certain understanding of what happened in the past. For example, Lin Baiyan was ambushed by Di Wudao. Originally, Lin Feng knew that his father was ambushed by Di Wudao. But now, it seemed that this wasn't the case. Lin Baiyan was actually ambushed by the Celestial Emperor. In fact, with Lin Baiyan's strength, even if he fought against the Celestial Emperor, he shouldn't have been ambushed. But at that time, Lin Baiyan's attention was all on Lin Feng. That was why he was ambushed. Di Wudao, the Celestial Emperor, the Black Fog race, and other forces were now on Lin Feng's must-kill list. These forces had completely angered Lin Feng. This made Lin Feng's killing intent sore. There was a lot of content behind, including many things that Lin Feng had experienced. They were all displayed one by one. Lin Feng looked at the images. Everything he had experienced was displayed in front of him like a continuous image. This further strengthened Lin Feng's Dao heart. A debt of blood must be repaid with blood. All the blood debts. Lin Feng kept it in mind. He would never let go of those who owed him a blood debt. The last scene of this memory was when Lin Feng snatched away the time stone. Lin Feng watched his own life. There were some things that even he didn't know about. But now, Lin Feng already knew these things. What had happened in the past would not affect Lin Feng. On the contrary, it would strengthen Lin Feng's heart of cultivation. If I can control the power of time, there will be countless possibilities in my life. A voice resounded in Lin Feng's mind. Following that, mysterious runes appeared in Lin Feng's mind. Those runes were incomparably mysterious and seemed to be related to the time stone. Lin Feng began to comprehend those mysterious runes. However, after comprehending for a long time, he actually couldn't comprehend anything useful. It seemed that those runes, they weren't so easy to comprehend. If he wanted to comprehend those runes, he needed time, or perhaps, he needed an opportunity. Lin Feng withdrew his mind. Time was short. Now was not the time to comprehend those runes. But Lin Feng guessed, if he could successfully comprehend those runes, perhaps, he would be able to control the time stone. When the time came, he would be able to use the time stone to create a space that could change the flow of time. This was one of the things that Lin Feng wanted to do the most at the current stage. Lin Feng put away the time stone. Then he looked at Yu Simon beside him. He said, "There's no time to lose. Let's continue looking for the ruler's armor." Yu Simon nodded and took out a jade talisman. Lin Feng looked at the jade talisman. Then, he asked, "What's the origin of this jade talisman?" Yu Simon nodded and said, "Of course there's an origin. This jade talisman is related to the ruler's armor. Father said that this jade talisman can sense the location of the ruler's armor. Moreover, with this jade talisman, even if we can't obtain the approval of the ruler's armor, we won't be attacked by it." Hearing this, Lin Feng couldn't help but feel slightly happy. The ruler's armor was so powerful. Lin Feng was indeed worried that if he wasn't recognized by the ruler's armor, he would be attacked by it. Now that he had this jade talisman, he didn't have to worry about this kind of thing happening. Lin Feng and Yu Simon continued to rush towards the depths. On the way, Lin Feng and Yu Simon saw many cultivators looking for them. The cultivators of the major powers believed that Lin Feng and Yu Simon were still on the baleful star. So, the other party didn't just seal off the starry sky. They also sent a large number of powerful cultivators. Their purpose was to find Lin Feng and Yu Simon. It wouldn't be easy to leave this place without a hitch. However, Lin Feng wasn't worried. With his methods, even if he couldn't obtain the approval of the ruler's armor, if he wanted to leave, very few people would be able to trap him. If he obtained the approval of the ruler's armor, even if he met the three emperors, Lin Feng wasn't afraid at all. When Lin Feng and Yu Simon arrived at the depths of the baleful star, the two of them used the earth escape technique to hide underground. The core of the baleful star was extremely large. It wasn't difficult for a supreme treasure like the ruler's armor to hide. Fortunately, Yu Simon had the jade talisman left behind by her father. Not long after Lin Feng and Yu Simon entered the depths of the earth's core, this jade talisman began to move. The jade talisman floated in mid-air. It shook and emitted waves of violent fluctuations. Lin Feng and Yu Simon both revealed looks of joy. Yu Simon said, "It seems that the jade talisman has already sensed the ruler's armor." Lin Feng nodded and said, "Let's follow the jade talisman and see where it will go." The two of them followed the jade talisman and flew towards the depths. The depths of the earth's core weren't calm. This place was filled with destructive power, and the flames were burning fiercely. This kind of flame that was born in the depths of the earth's core was an extremely terrifying flame. Ordinary cultivators, they couldn't resist this kind of flame at all. They would be burned to ashes. Lin Feng controlled 5 types of heavenly fire. Therefore, he wasn't afraid of this kind of flame. He used the heavenly fire to protect Yu Simon. Therefore, Yu Simon was also not harmed by the flames. There were even some terrifying flame creatures active in the depths of the earth's core. However, after those flame creatures sensed the terrifying aura emitted from Lin Feng's body, they didn't attack Lin Feng and Yu Simon. 2 hours later, Lin Feng and Yu Simon followed the jade talisman to an underground magma world. In the underground magma world, there was an armor floating. Chapter 3492. The Dominator's armor was shrouded in mystery, exuding a shocking and powerful force. As expected of a supreme treasure left behind by a Dominator, this supreme treasure was absolutely extraordinary. If one could refine it, it would have a heaven-defying effect on any cultivator. Take the Jade Talisman and see if you can refine the Dominator's armor. Yu Simon handed the Jade Talisman to Lin Feng. Now, Yu Simon's entire mind was on Lin Feng. Therefore, even if she wanted to refine the Dominator's armor, she would let Lin Feng try first. If Lin Feng could refine the Dominator's armor, perhaps she would be even happier than if she did it herself. If Lin Feng couldn't refine the Dominator's armor, then she would try to refine the Dominator's armor. Lin Feng nodded and took the Jade Talisman. Then, he took the Jade Talisman and flew toward the Dominator's armor. Lin Feng arrived above the Dominator's armor. Then, he struck out with a strand of magic power. Lin Feng's strand of magic power tried to merge into the Dominator's armor. However, Lin Feng realized his magic power was actually repelled by the Dominator's armor. The Dominator's armor was very strange. It could repel a cultivator's magic power. Lin Feng's magic power couldn't merge into the Dominator's armor, let alone refine it. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. Could it be that he wasn't fated to have the Dominator's armor? Lin Feng dreamed of refining such a powerful magic treasure. But if he wasn't fated, he was destined to miss this magic treasure. Lin Feng looked at the Jade Talisman in his hand. Could this Jade Talisman play a key role? Thinking of this, Lin Feng injected magic power into the Jade Talisman. After absorbing Lin Feng's magic power, something astonishing immediately happened. Dense runes appeared on the Jade Talisman. The runes intertwined and twisted together, forming an incomparably powerful vibration force. The vibration force fiercely shook the void. Every wave of vibrating force seemed to be able to collapse the void. The runes on the Jade Talisman finally shot out a beam of light. The beam of light fused into the Sovereign's armor. Buzz. However, at this moment, the hegemon armor gently shook the void. A wave of tyrannical power surged out. That terrifying strength made the talisman fly away. Lin Feng was also blown away along with the talisman. However, just as Yu Simon had said before, even if he couldn't refine the ruler's armor, as long as he had the Jade Talisman, the ruler's armor wouldn't harm him. This was the case with Lin Feng. Although he had failed to refine the ruler's armor, because of the Jade Talisman, Lin Feng hadn't been harmed by the ruler's armor. Such a powerful treasure, yet I can't refine it. I really can't accept this. Lin Feng's expression was gloomy. He absolutely wasn't willing to give up on refining the ruler's armor just like that. Lin Feng absolutely wasn't willing. He grabbed the Jade Talisman and sat down cross-legged. Then, Lin Feng began to circulate the true word of Lin. Lin Feng hoped to use the true word of Lin to comprehend the secrets of the ruler's armor. Of course, Lin Feng knew that this wasn't an easy task. However, as long as there was a glimmer of hope, Lin Feng wouldn't give up. Lin Feng began to circulate the true word of Lin. With the help of the true word of Lin, very quickly, Lin Feng entered a mysterious state of mind. He vaguely felt that he seemed to have formed a mysterious connection with a great existence. It was just that the connection wasn't particularly obvious. As time passed, Lin Feng discovered that he seemed to have seen a vast and majestic world. That world was ancient, mysterious, immortal, and powerful. In that world, there stood a mountain-like existence proudly. Looking carefully, that existence was actually a huge armor. And that armor was the ruler's armor. The surface of the ruler's armor was covered with countless runes, and each rune contained a destructive power that could destroy the heavens and earth. Each rune contained unimaginably terrifying power. The runes were like immortal talismans. Listening carefully, it was as if one could hear the sound of heaven and earth from those runes. The ruler's armor was indeed powerful. Now, it gave Lin Feng the feeling that it was like an unparalleled ruler that couldn't be resisted. Although it was just an armor, it gave people the feeling of looking down at the heavens. Ruler's armor. Follow me. Only by following me can you complete the transformation. In the future, you will become even more powerful. Lin Feng looked at the ruler's armor and said, "Humph. An ant-like existence dares to say such words to this seat. You're simply overestimating yourself. Suddenly, a voice came from inside the ruler's armor. Lin Feng's spirit suddenly rose. Was this the voice of the ruler's armor's weapon spirit? Lin Feng felt that it was very likely so. After all, the ruler's armor was so powerful. It wouldn't make sense if it didn't have a weapon spirit. Humph! You're too arrogant. Even existences surpassing the great emperor realm wouldn't dare to say such words in front of this seat. You're just a cultivator who hasn't become a great emperor, yet you dare to say such words. Do you know that you're a joke in front of this seat? I only need a divine thought to kill you. The weapon spirit of the ruler's armor said coldly. Lin Feng smiled and said, You're right. I know that you won't attack me. Why? Could it be because of the token? There's no rule that says that I can't attack cultivators who have the token. The weapon spirit of the ruler's armor said coldly. Although this weapon spirit didn't appear, Lin Feng had a strong feeling. This terrifying weapon spirit. Now, its eyes were fixed on him. Every move he made. Everything was under the control of this weapon spirit. Lin Feng said, The token is only one of the reasons. Oh, what other reason is there? I'd like to hear it. The weapon spirit of the ruler's armor said coldly. Lin Feng said, First, if you wanted to attack me, you wouldn't have said so much to me. Second, in fact, you've already discovered that I'm extraordinary. You're just hesitating in your heart about how to make a choice. Third, you're worried about your choice. If you make the wrong choice, you'll be delayed for many years. However, time is extremely precious to you now. Due to the appearance of the 5 signs of decay, you don't have much time to continue defying the heavens and changing your fate. When the era is destroyed, your fate will be destroyed as well. Therefore, at this time, you need to find someone who can truly help you. However, you can't be sure if I'm that person. I don't know if these 3 points are correct. Chapter 3493. That's right. The 3 points you mentioned are exactly what I'm worried about. The artifact spirit couldn't help but say. The artifact spirit didn't know how to hide his thoughts. He was an open and above-board existence. The artifact spirit faintly said, the undying bloodline, the sovereign clan, and the sealed fate bloodline. In addition, there seems to be an even more mysterious power inside your body. You are destined to be extraordinary, but you are also destined to experience many trials and tribulations. If you can summon a dragon and this seat follows you, I will naturally be able to obtain endless benefits. However, this seat already knew that you will encounter many difficulties and obstacles. Thus, the probability of overcoming them is not high. Falling before you can mature is more likely. Thus, I need to carefully consider whether I should follow you or not. As expected, the ruler's armor spirit was extremely strong. It even knew about the 4th mysterious strength, which was sealed in Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng was astonished. Of course, Lin Feng was also someone who had seen many storms and waves. Therefore, even though he was astonished, Lin Feng remained calm and collected. Lin Feng said, I have always been an optimist. I believe that I can overcome any difficulties. Moreover, the Tao I cultivate is the Tao of supremacy. A supremacy is an existence who has stepped on the bones of Kaikai to reach the peak. If I don't encounter any difficulties along the way, how can I reach the peak? You are not being optimistic. You are being blindly confident. In other words, you are being arrogant. The artifact spirit couldn't help but sneer as if he was deliberately mocking Lin Feng. Lin Feng said indifferently, Arrogant? I don't think so. Since I have the ability, I have the confidence to do so. I have cultivated 2,400 types of the 3,000 Grandas. In addition, I have also cultivated the legacies of Fushi, Chiyu, the 2 Devil Lords, Nuwa, and many other peerless experts. In the history of this epoch, how many cultivators who have yet to become emperors have cultivated the 3,000 Grandas and had more top divine abilities than me? I'm sure there are only a handful of them, right? Apart from these powerful divine abilities, I have also obtained 3 stone swords, the Hell King Bell, the Heavenly Drum, the Vampiric Dagger, the Heaven-Devouring Jar, the Black Dragon Sword, and many other supreme treasures. How many people in history have obtained so many supreme treasures like me? Those who think I'm arrogant don't know my strength or my methods, so they assume I'm arrogant. Don't you find it laughable? After hearing Lin Feng's words, the artifact spirit of the ruler's armor couldn't help but frown. The achievements that Lin Feng had mentioned were indeed astonishing. Follow me. Soar to the heavens, Lin Feng said firmly. At that moment, the artifact spirit sensed an indescribable aura from Lin Feng. That kind of temperament. It was like the aura emanating from the Ranhuang. That kind of aura made people have an impulse to believe him. Good. I can agree to your request, but we need to agree to 3 conditions. The artifact spirit of the ruler's armor said. Lin Feng was overjoyed when the artifact spirit of the ruler's armor agreed to submit to him. He asked calmly, "What conditions do you want? Tell me, first. Before the great calamity arrives, I won't take the initiative to help you because I need to save my strength for when the great calamity arrives." The artifact spirit of the ruler's armor stated its first condition. Lin Feng nodded. No problem. I promise you. Secondly, you have to figure out how to use the sovereign's armor on your own. I won't take the initiative to teach you, because even if I know how to use it, I figured it out on my own. Perhaps it's not the most correct method. Teaching it to you will only lead you astray. The artifact spirit of the sovereign's armor continued. Lin Feng said, No problem. I like to work hard to find what I want. I don't want to rely on others to give me what I want. The artifact spirit continued. Third, if your cultivation doesn't surpass the Emperor realm within 1,000 years, all ties between us will be severed. I don't need 1,000 years. I can surpass the Emperor realm, Lin Feng said with his hands clasped behind his back. How difficult was it to surpass the Emperor realm? It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. However, Lin Feng said it so confidently. Lin Feng's confidence seemed to originate from his bloodline, from his bones, and from his soul. In fact, Lin Feng's cultivation had improved so quickly over the years because of his hard work and other factors. It was also closely related to his strong self-confidence. All right, since you've agreed, let's sign the contract now, the artifact spirit of the ruler's armor said. Then, a ray of holy light surged out from the ruler's armor. The holy light intertwined in midair, and one could vaguely see that the holy light had transformed into a page condensed from energy. On the page were the requirements of the ruler's armor. Look carefully at the contents. If there are no problems, we'll sign the soul contract, the artifact spirit of the ruler's armor said. Lin Feng looked at it once, then nodded and said, No problem. We can sign the contract now. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng's soul power surged into the contract book, and a soul power also surged out from the ruler's armor. That soul power also surged into the contract book. When Lin Feng's soul power and the artifact spirit of the ruler's armor surged into the contract book at the same time, suddenly, Lin Feng felt it. He had a mysterious connection with the ruler's armor. Swish. The next moment, there was a flash of light. Lin Feng found that he had returned to reality from that illusory world. He was still sitting cross-legged, holding the jade talisman in his hand. Everything that had just happened was like a dream. However, this was not a dream, because after Lin Feng woke up, he found that he had indeed formed a mysterious connection with the ruler's armor. How is it? Did you get anything? Seeing Lin Feng open his eyes, Yu Simon asked with concern. She naturally hoped that Lin Feng would succeed, because Lin Feng was her man. The stronger Lin Feng was, Yu Simon was even happier. Lin Feng smiled, then reached out and pointed at the ruler's armor. A ray of magic power surged into the ruler's armor. Buzz. The ruler's armor vibrated with a powerful aura. Then the ruler's armor soared into the sky from the magma world. Then, it turned into a rune and flew into Lin Feng's dantian. Chapter 3494. The ruler's armor fused into his dantian. Lin Feng only needed to use his divine will to communicate with the sovereign's armor. Lin Feng wasn't in a hurry to leave. He planned to study the ruler's armor. When Yu Simon saw that Lin Feng had successfully refined the ruler's armor, she was incomparably happy. She asked excitedly. Now that I've refined the ruler's armor, does that mean I can use it? Lin Feng replied. I'm afraid that I still can't activate the ruler's armor. If I want to activate this treasure, I'll need to comprehend some of the activation techniques recorded in this treasure. When she heard Lin Feng, Yu Simon said, then let's enter into closed-door cultivation here for a period of time, and it wouldn't be too late to leave once we're able to utilize the Overlord armor. Yu Simon was mainly worried that she would be surrounded by 3 Emperor Realm Masters if she left at this moment. Last time, he had managed to escape from the pursuit of 3 Emperor Realm Masters by sheer luck. However, if he were to encounter 3 Emperor Realm Masters again this time, these 3 Emperor Realm Masters would most likely be prepared, so it wouldn't be easy to escape from their hands again. Thus, Yu Simon wanted to wait until Lin Feng could control the ruler's armor before leaving. If he were to encounter 3 Emperor Realm Masters at this time, with Lin Feng's own strength and the extraordinary ruler's armor, it wasn't impossible for him to contend against 3 great emperors. Even if he couldn't defeat the 3 emperors, it shouldn't be difficult for him to leave this place. Yu Simon's thoughts coincided with Lin Feng's. In the following month, Lin Feng remained in seclusion. He was trying to figure out how to use the sovereign's armor. During this month, Lin Feng had gained some enlightenment. Although he couldn't completely control the ruler's armor, he was still able to control it. However, he was already able to control the ruler's armor. Lin Feng's hands were moving in a flurry of hand seals. All of the incantations entered the sovereign armor. After fusing with the incantations, the ruler's armor was activated. Swish! With a flash of light, the ruler's armor turned into a silver armor, completely enveloping Lin Feng. At that moment, Lin Feng seemed to have transformed into an eternal, immortal king. His aura was so powerful that it was suffocating. Furthermore, Lin Feng could clearly sense the terrifying power contained within the ruler's armor. He was able to borrow the terrifying energy contained within the sovereign's armor. Of course, this borrowing was not without a price. He wanted to borrow that powerful force. It would consume one's own magic power, and this kind of consumption was extremely serious. The more you gain in one aspect, the more you lose in the other. This was the law of conservation. It applies to this moment. Although the ruler's armor consumed a lot of magic power, Lin Feng was still very satisfied with it. This was because the ruler's armor was powerful enough. It could increase Lin Feng's combat strength in a short period of time. Swish! With a flash of light, Lin Feng put the ruler's armor into his body. Then, he looked at Yu Simon and said, "Let's go. Let's go rescue father-in-law." Yu Simon quickly nodded. These days, Yu Simon had been worried about her father. However, Yu Simon knew that she had to be strong enough to rescue her father. Or else, she would be courting death if she went. When the time came, not only would she not be able to save her father, but she and Lin Feng would also be sacrificed. Yu Simon naturally did not want to see such a thing happen. Now, Lin Feng could finally control the ruler's armor. Yu Simon saw the hope of rescuing her father. Yu Simon followed Lin Feng and flew outside. On the way, Yu Simon said, "Do you want to visit some of my father's other friends? I hope they can help. This way, we won't be alone." Lin Feng nodded. He naturally agreed with Yu Simon's suggestion. Although he had preliminary control of the ruler's armor, Lin Feng did not know how many experts the other party had. Therefore, if he could find some allies to rescue Supreme Venerable Myriad Star, the probability of success would also be much higher. The two of them quickly flew towards the Starry Sky World. However, the Starry Sky World was sealed. Lin Feng and Yu Simon were intercepted by someone. The ones who intercepted the two of them were cultivators from the Starry Sky Demon Snake Clan, the Star Refining Demon Swallowing Clan, and more than a dozen other forces. "Kid, we've been waiting for you for a long time. You're finally here. If you want to live, hand over the Stone of Time. Otherwise, we'll have no choice but to kill you," an expert said in an indifferent voice. "Let's do it." Lin Feng could not help but sneer. "Kill this kid." Hundreds of experts' voices were cold. Then, they attacked together and attacked Lin Feng. These people were already prepared. They had set up a killing array and even used hundreds of powerful magic treasures and an emperor-level magic treasure to guard the array core. The killing array released a power that could destroy heaven and earth. It was extremely terrifying. If it were any other cultivator facing the killing array set up by so many experts, they would probably feel despair. However, the killing array set up by these cultivators was not a problem for Linfeng. In this world, there were probably not many cultivators who could be more powerful than Linfeng in terms of array formation attainments. Therefore, in the face of the killing array's attack, Linfeng easily found the flaws of the array. Linfeng grabbed Yu Simon's hand and moved through the deployment spell. They dodged the attacks one after another, and then they successfully came out of the deployment spell. Linfeng's expression was indifferent. He waved his right hand, and a dense sword chi swept out. It slashed towards those cultivators. How can you rush out of the array so easily? Many cultivators cried out in disbelief. They could not believe their eyes. Surprisingly, Linfeng had managed to escape from the deadly deployment spell so easily. It was simply unbelievable. However, these cultivators quickly came back to their senses because Linfeng's attack was already coming. They had no choice but to block Linfeng's attack. However, Linfeng's attack was too powerful. The dazzling sword chi instantly tore apart the divine abilities of the cultivators. Poochie, poochie, poochie. Then, the sound of flesh being torn apart could be heard one after another. One cultivator's body was directly cut into two by Linfeng's sword chi. In the end, they died tragically under Linfeng's attack. Run. When the rest of the cultivators saw how terrifying Linfeng was, how could they still have the courage to fight? They all fled in all directions. Do you think you can escape? Linfeng's expression was indifferent. As soon as his voice fell, he executed a sword blade storm. Endless sword chi formed a storm and swept towards the fleeing cultivators. Chapter 3495. The power of the sword blade storm was too tyrannical. It was simply shocking and moving. The escaping cultivators were all sucked into the sword blade storm. I don't want to die. Spare me. Spare me. As long as you spare me, I'll do anything. The cultivators who were sucked into the sword blade storm begged loudly. However, Linfeng didn't care about these people's pleas at all. Linfeng was very clear about that. Showing mercy to your enemies was the same as showing mercy to yourself. Therefore, he wouldn't pity these people. Poochie, poochie, poochie. The sound of tearing continued. The cultivators who were sucked into the sword blade storm were directly killed. Their bodies were torn to pieces by the dense sword chi, and they all died tragically. After killing these cultivators, Linfeng took their storage rings and magic treasures, and then quickly left. Some cultivators who were watching the show in the distance had an expression of disbelief on their faces when they saw Linfeng easily kill hundreds of experts by himself. It was really too shocking. Anyone who saw this scene would probably not dare to believe it was real. I've only heard that this kid is extraordinary. He even snatched the Stone of Time from the hands of the three emperors. But at that time, I always thought that this kid was able to do this because he had some powerful treasures. At that time, he must have used those powerful treasures to snatch the Stone of Time. But now it seems that he didn't rely solely on those treasures. That kid's cultivation is really terrifying. At this time, a cultivator said, "Yes, that guy's combat strength is terrifying. This can't be underestimated." However, it's said that the three emperors are now guarding the outer realm. It won't be easy to escape. We have to pray that we don't meet the three emperors. Otherwise, we'll still die. Then, another cultivator said. Many people began to talk about this matter. At this moment, Linfeng and Yu Simon had already flown into the distance. However, it was not easy to escape. The news of Linfeng's appearance quickly spread. After a short time, a Zundi cultivator caught up with Linfeng. The Emperor Realm Master who had caught up with Linfeng was none other than the Emperor Realm Master of 10,000 Kingdoms. "You little bastard, are you ready to die?" The myriad countries' emperor stared coldly at Linfeng, his eyes filled with killing intent. Myriad kingdom emperors hated Linfeng to the bone and wished that they could kill Linfeng right now. Said Linfeng indifferently. "You think you can do it alone? You're overestimating yourself." Hearing Linfeng's arrogant words, the 10,000 Kingdoms Emperor's face was filled with killing intent. That was because Lin Feng was simply too arrogant. Although Lin Feng's battle prowess was frightening enough, Lin Feng was simply too arrogant. However, in front of an Emperor Realm Master, there was still a huge gap. Even if the Emperor of 10,000 countries was only a First Heaven Emperor Realm low-level Emperor, but that was still a venerable Emperor. The supreme dignity of a venerable Emperor could not be violated in any way. Brat, go to hell. The Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms Emperor's eyes were cold as he threw a palm at Lin Feng. In the void, a huge energy palm was formed. The energy palm gently shook the void. It was as if it could shatter 100,000 starry skies. The power of an Emperor Realm Master was terrifying. Step back. With a wave of his hand, Lin Feng sent you Simon far away by Lin Feng. Then, Lin Feng communicated with the ruler's armor. Swish. A silver light flashed slightly. Then, Lin Feng's body was completely wrapped in silver light. At the same time, an unimaginably powerful and majestic mana surged into Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng's battle prowess, rising steadily. In an instant, Lin Feng's battle prowess increased to a level that made ghosts and gods pale in comparison. Facing the attack of the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms, Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He threw a punch, and a fist light condensed and collided with the attack of the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. The attacks of both sides were annihilated, and Lin Feng and the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms both took 3 steps back. What kind of magic treasure is that? The eyes of the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms were fixed on the ruler's armor on Lin Feng's body. Naturally, he could tell at a glance that the reason why Lin Feng was able to display such terrifying battle prowess was greatly related to the ruler's armor. You want to know? Go to hell and ask the King of Hell. Lin Feng sneered, then jumped out and quickly flew towards the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. The ruler's armor provided Lin Feng with a terrifying power boost, and Lin Feng's battle prowess increased crazily. Just now, he was on par with the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. Now, Lin Feng decided to go all out. He wanted to see what level his battle prowess could reach after increasing it to the limit. Supreme Reincarnation Fist. Lin Feng's mana began to circulate, and he directly used his trump card. This was the Supreme Tao that Lin Feng created himself. A peerless great Tao. 10,000 Worlds Extermination. At this moment, the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms also used his trump card. This 10,000 Worlds Extermination was also an extremely terrifying divine ability. After this divine ability was used, it immediately evolved into an endless world. The power of Nirvana surged. Endless worlds were destroyed. This was the 10,000 Worlds Extermination, a divine ability that was so heaven-defying that it made people turn pale with shock. And the first collision between the two sides caused a huge commotion, attracting the surrounding cultivators. At this time, a cultivator said, "The cultivator wrapped in the silver armor is the kid who stole the Stone of Time. I just saw that this guy actually didn't die after colliding with the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. It's unbelievable. That silver armor is definitely a heaven-defying treasure. No matter how heaven-defying the treasure is, what's the use? How many times can you withstand an attack from an Empyrean realm powerhouse?" Then another cultivator said, "Although magic treasures are also a part of one's strength, the Emperor-level expert is too powerful. That kid can't be a match for the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms with just magic treasures. I guess that within 3 moves, that kid will be destroyed by the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms and then killed by the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms." The third cultivator continued. Many of the surrounding cultivators nodded. Obviously, those cultivators also felt that Lin Feng and the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms would meet. Only death awaited them. Chapter 3496. While everyone was discussing, Lin Feng and the myriad Kingdom Emperor's attacks collided again. Under Lin Feng's control, the Supreme Reincarnation Fist exploded with its strongest power. The myriad Kingdom Emperor's Nirvana world was also incomparably powerful. Both sides' divine abilities were extremely powerful. Bang! At this moment, the two of them collided. This was a peak confrontation. accompanied by a violent collision that shook the heavens and the earth. It was as if two rapidly rotating planets in the starry sky had collided. The sky and earth were spinning, and the earth was collapsing. It was shocking and horrifying. The starry sky collapsed, and the stars shattered. It was as if doomsday had arrived, destroying everything. It was truly a peerless horror. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. The surrounding cultivators were all shocked and quickly dodged. The pressure from the collision between the two. It had already made the surrounding cultivators feel what despair was. Many people felt as if their lives no longer belonged to them. Fortunately, this was only a kind of spiritual pressure. However, they were not involved in this great battle. This was the only thing worth rejoicing about. If they were involved in this battle, many people felt that they would definitely die. There was no chance of survival at all. Lin Feng and the Myriad Kingdom Emperor were in a stalemate for a very short time. Then, the Myriad Kingdom Emperor was sent flying by Lin Feng. In midair, the Myriad Kingdom Emperor could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. His face was as pale as a sheet. How is this possible? The Myriad Kingdom Emperor was actually injured. Oh my God, am I seeing things? An Emperor-level expert was actually injured. Isn't this too unbelievable? What we saw must be an illusion, right? Many cultivators who were watching the battle could not help but exclaim. They could not believe what they were seeing. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor. He was actually beaten to the point of vomiting blood by Lin Feng. It was truly unbelievable. Many people even rubbed their eyes hard, trying to see if it was real. However, they realized that everything that happened in front of them was real. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor. He was really beaten to the point of vomiting blood by Lin Feng, who was wearing the silver armor. It's that silver armor. Otherwise, that kid wouldn't have such strength. What kind of supreme treasure is that? He's actually so powerful? Many cultivators exclaimed as they stared unblinkingly at Lin Feng's sovereign armor. Endless greed burst out from many people's eyes. The silver armor was simply too tempting. In the eyes of many, Lin Feng could become so powerful after wearing the silver armor. In that case, if these people were to wear the silver armor, wouldn't they also become very powerful? Lin Feng already knew that many people would covet the ruler's armor after seeing it. He couldn't help but sneer in his heart. What a bunch of greedy and ignorant people. In this world, there weren't many people who could make the ruler's armor recognize them as its master. Lin Feng described his future to the Dominator's armor. The Dominator's armor was touched. Just now, it took the initiative to recognize him as its master. Who do these people think they are? Even many cultivators who had surpassed the Emperor realm were nothing in the ruler's armor's eyes, let alone others. He really overestimated himself. Lin Feng was like a peerless immortal king. He walked forward in the void, his eyes flashing with endless coldness. He walked step by step toward the Myriad Kingdom Emperor, his killing intent like the sea. Myriad Kingdom Emperor, your cultivation is only SOSO. If you don't have any other means, today's starry sky world will be your burial ground. Lin Feng looked at the Myriad Kingdom Emperor indifferently. His eyes flashed with endless killing intent. Kid, do you think you can kill me just by relying on a piece of armor to increase your combat strength in a short period of time? What a joke. Today, I'll let you know how powerful I am. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor's face couldn't help but contort. As an Emperor Realm expert, he had just been beaten to the point of vomiting blood by Lin Feng. It was simply a great humiliation. For the Myriad Kingdom Emperor, it was something he couldn't tolerate. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor had lived a glorious life. When had he ever suffered such humiliation? Therefore, for Lin Feng, the Myriad Kingdom Emperor only had a deep killing intent. An expert of this level must have mastered a lot of methods. At this moment, the void around the Myriad Kingdom Emperor began to distort. Then, mysterious countries appeared one after another. Those were mysterious countries. In each country, there was an ancient god sitting cross-legged. 10,000 countries, 10,000 gods. Could it be, among the spectating cultivators, someone seemed to recognize the divine ability that the Myriad Kingdom Emperor had used? They couldn't help but exclaim in surprise, and their expressions became extremely serious. What is it? Many people asked curiously. They didn't know what kind of divine ability the Myriad Kingdom Emperor had used. However, from the shocked expression of the cultivator, they could tell that the divine ability the Myriad Kingdom Emperor had used must be very heaven-defying. The cultivator said, "Myriad Kingdom God, this is the legendary supreme technique passed down from a supreme existence in the era of titled gods. It's called a thought to create a country, Myriad God descends. Once this divine ability is used, it will definitely cause a terrifying power that can destroy the world. Just wait and see. This divine ability will definitely erupt with a terrifying destructive power that can shock one's heart." Is this divine ability really that powerful? A cultivator couldn't help but ask. Of course. This divine ability is so heaven-defying. The cultivator nodded and said, he was extremely confident in the divine ability that the Myriad Kingdom Emperor had used. Myriad kingdoms floated in the air. Myriad gods were born. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor stood in the center of the Myriad Kingdom God. He was like the creator of the world, powerful and immortal, high and mighty. Lowly ant, I'll let you have a taste of my supreme divine ability. To be able to die under the attack of my divine ability, even if you die, it won't be a loss. As soon as the Myriad Kingdom Emperor finished speaking, the Myriad Kingdom God rushed towards Lin Feng at the same time. That kid is dead for sure. Many of the spectating cultivators couldn't help but exclaim, thinking that Lin Feng would definitely die. It was impossible to resist such a terrifying attack from the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. My Tao is the Tao of supremacy. In this world, I am the supremacy, and my divine ability is invincible. Lin Feng looked at the 10,000 countries' great emperor indifferently. Then, he stepped forward and circulated his magic power. The divine ability formation formed by thousands of divine abilities in his body was also activated. Together, they supported Lin Feng's supreme reincarnation fist. In the face of the Myriad Kingdom Emperor's attack, Lin Feng still used the supreme reincarnation fist, an unparalleled divine ability. However, Lin Feng's second move was even more powerful than the first. Bang! Accompanied by a violent collision, the two sides collided again. Everyone saw that the Myriad Kingdom God formed by the Myriad Kingdom Emperor was destroyed by Lin Feng's punch. Then, Lin Feng's terrifying punch landed on the Myriad Kingdom Emperor's chest. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor was sent flying. Crack, crack. Chapter 3497. The Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms was heavily injured by Lin Feng's attack. The outcome of the battle had been decided. Many people were shocked. The Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms' powerful divine ability was actually broken by Lin Feng's divine ability. Now, everyone understood one thing. Even though the silver armor had increased Lin Feng's battle strength by a lot, it was still too weak. However, the silver armor's enhancement to Lin Feng was only part of the reason why Lin Feng's battle strength was so strong. The most fundamental reason was that Lin Feng's cultivation was strong enough. If Lin Feng's cultivation level wasn't high enough, even with the silver armor, his battle strength would still be far from the terrifying battle strength that Lin Feng had displayed. No, 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 this is impossible. The Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms, who had been defeated by Lin Feng, could not help but roar loudly. He had even used his trump card. He could not even defeat a young cultivator like Lin Feng. This was a huge blow to the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. Lin Feng looked at the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms with an indifferent expression. As he rushed towards the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms, he sneered and said, "Nothing is impossible. Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms, are you ready to die?" The Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms' expression was extremely gloomy, as much as he did not want to admit it, but the truth was indisputable. Lin Feng was indeed too strong. It was not something he could contend against. When the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms saw Lin Feng rushing towards him, he said coldly, "Kid, don't be too happy. Our grudge will not end so easily. Just you wait. I will cut you into 1,000 pieces sooner or later." As soon as he finished speaking, the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms turned around and flew into the distance. He wanted to escape. Lin Feng sneered and said, You think you can escape just because you want to? No one can save you today. Lin Feng quickly chased after him. Lin Feng's speed was too fast, and he quickly caught up to the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. Lin Feng unleashed a devil ancestor holy fist at myriad kingdom emperors. An ancient devil ancestor appeared behind Lin Feng. The ancient evil ancestor couldn't help but roar. Then, he charged toward myriad kingdom emperor. The face of the myriad kingdom emperors turned extremely ugly, because Lin Feng's attack was too terrifying. He had no choice but to stop and defend against Lin Feng's attacks. Violent energy fluctuations surged out of myriad kingdom emperor's body. Next, myriad kingdom emperor used a divine ability called blood sea waves. This mystique condensed a terrifying destructive power. It was a sea of blood. Then, it condensed and formed. That blood-red sea could shatter the void with just a slight tremor. The attacks from both sides were extremely powerful. But the 10,000 countries' great emperor's attacks were much weaker than Lin Feng's. The divine ability of the emperor of 10,000 kingdoms. It was directly broken by Lin Feng. Then, a destructive force blasted the myriad kingdom emperor's body. Myriad kingdom emperor was sent flying again. Wah! Myriad kingdom emperor vomited blood. His injuries became more and more serious. Is the myriad kingdom emperor going to be killed? Many cultivators who were watching the battle said in shock. Emperor-level experts were different from cultivators of other realms. Existences of this level. Very few people died. If an Emperor Realm Master were to fall, then, at that time, it would definitely be earth-shattering news. And now, the result of the battle between Lin Feng and the Myriad Kingdom Emperor seemed to be irreversible. Lin Feng quickly rushed toward the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. Now was the best time to kill the Myriad Kingdom Emperor in one go. If he missed this opportunity, it wouldn't be easy to kill the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. With a thought, flowers bloom. The sovereign descends to the world. Lin Feng used the supreme technique passed down by the mysterious Devil Lord. After this powerful divine ability was used, it exploded with a terrifying power that shook people's hearts. The demonic might was vast. It enveloped all directions. That terrifying aura. This caused countless people to be aghast. Many people felt that Lin Feng seemed to have transformed into an immortal Devil Lord. Everyone's face. They were all deeply shocked. Who is he? Many people looked at Lin Feng, and they couldn't help but feel puzzled. So young. So powerful. Lin Feng's identity. Lin Feng's background. Everyone was puzzled, but no one knew Lin Feng's specific background. Myriad Kingdom Emperor naturally wouldn't sit still and wait for death. He quickly took out a powerful defensive magic treasure. This powerful magic treasure was a bronze shield. Its defense was extremely strong. Myriad Kingdom Emperor wanted to use the bronze shield to block Lin Feng's attack. Bang! A violent collision sound was heard. Lin Feng's divine ability bombarded Myriad Kingdom Emperor's shield. Myriad Kingdom Emperor's shield was sent flying by Lin Feng's divine ability. Then Lin Feng's divine ability continued to bombard Myriad Kingdom Emperor's body. This time, Myriad Kingdom Emperor's injuries were even more serious. Half of his body was blasted apart. Myriad Kingdom Emperor. No one in the world can save you. Lin Feng's expression was cold, and his killing intent was awe-inspiring. He continued to attack Myriad Kingdom Emperor. The Supreme Reincarnation Fist was directly swung out. He punched out at the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. After feeling the terrifying aura emitted from Lin Feng's body, Myriad Kingdom Emperor's face couldn't help but reveal a look of despair. Myriad Kingdom Emperor was unwilling to die in Lin Feng's hands like this. Therefore, Myriad Kingdom Emperor hurriedly used his divine ability to block Lin Feng's attack. Bang! Along with the sound of a violent collision, the two weapons collided. Lin Feng and Myriad Kingdom Emperor collided once again. After Myriad Kingdom Emperor's divine ability was broken by Lin Feng, Lin Feng's punch landed on Myriad Kingdom Emperor's body. This time, Myriad Kingdom Emperor's body directly exploded. It turned into a bloody mist. A mass of grayish-brown energy quickly flew into the distance. That mass of grayish-brown energy was the soul of Myriad Kingdom Emperor. Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul wanted to escape. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He waved his hand. He charged towards Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul. Spare me. Spare me. As long as you spare my life, I'm willing to give you endless treasures. Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul begged. If his soul was destroyed, the Emperor of 10,000 kingdoms had completely vanished into thin air. Myriad Kingdom Emperor didn't want to die. So when faced with life and death, Myriad Kingdom Emperor threw away his dignity. But Lin Feng was indifferent. He had no intention of sparing Myriad Kingdom Emperor at all. Lin Feng directly suppressed Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul, and then began to search Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul. But at this moment, a terrifying aura came from the depths of Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul. That aura was truly terrifying to the extreme. It made Lin Feng feel a sense of shock. You actually killed Myriad Kingdom Emperor. Despicable ant, have you ever thought about how you will die? Chapter 3498. Then, an illusory shadow condensed. This illusory shadow was the existence that spoke to Lin Feng. Lin Feng couldn't help but be shocked. He originally thought that the rise of the Myriad Kingdom Emperor was entirely due to his own means. But now it seemed that this wasn't the case. There were also hidden experts behind the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. It was just that Lin Feng didn't know about it before. Perhaps many people had been deceived by the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. Not only did Lin Feng not know, many people didn't know. After this terrifying existence appeared, it directly locked onto Lin Feng's divine sense. Swish. The next moment, this terrifying existence appeared in Lin Feng's mind. Destroy your soul. I'll shatter your soul into nothingness. Only in this way can I vent the hatred in my heart. The terrifying existence said in an indifferent voice. He had transformed into the appearance of a cultivator. However, the cultivator that this existence had transformed into was surrounded by a layer of holy light. It was impossible to see what he looked like. Who are you? Lin Feng asked in a deep voice, wanting to find out the identity of the existence behind the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. This terrifying existence sneered and said, "How can a lowly ant be qualified to know this lord's identity? Go to hell now." As his voice faded, this terrifying existence began to attack Lin Feng. Boom! A powerful attack that could destroy heaven and earth instantly erupted. Those powerful attacks were all aimed at Lin Feng's soul. Lin Feng's soul entered the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp. Then, the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp gently shook the void. The Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp swept out the light of Primal Chaos and blasted towards the attack of this terrifying creature. Bang! The two sides collided. Lin Feng's attack from the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp and this terrifying existence's attack were both annihilated. Lin Feng couldn't help but be shocked. This terrifying existence was just a divine sense imprint. To be able to block the attack of the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp, it was truly peerless and terrifying. However, Lin Feng's attacks were not limited to the ancient Primal Chaos Lamp. The 5 great heavenly flames were also extremely damaging to the cultivator's souls. Lin Feng brought out the 5 great heavenly flames. He used the 5 great heavenly flames to form the 5 elemental heavenly fire great array and launched a fierce attack on the terrifying existence. Together with the help of the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp, that terrifying existence was suppressed by Lin Feng. Perhaps the one who will be destroyed today will be you, not me. Now that I've destroyed your divine sense imprint, sooner or later, I'll kill your true self. Lin Feng stared coldly at the terrifying existence. His attacks became even more ferocious. Although that terrifying existence was incomparably powerful, it was only a divine sense brand after all. Facing so many powerful attacks from Lin Feng, he was suppressed to the point that he didn't have much power to fight back. After more than 10 consecutive waves of attacks, the body of this terrifying existence finally couldn't take it anymore. The sound of cracking could be heard. The terrifying existence's body began to crack apart. Damn it! The terrifying existence's expression was gloomy to the extreme. He originally thought that it would be quite easy to destroy Lin Feng's soul. But who would have thought that it would be so difficult to destroy Lin Feng's soul? Lin Feng's soul was really too powerful. Moreover, he also had a powerful life source magic treasure, plus the 5 great heavenly flames. They had never seen such a monstrous cultivator. Lin Feng's cultivation level was so high that he could defy the laws of the universe. Lin Feng made him feel a little wary. But more than that, there was a dense killing intent. Boy, I'll remember you. Quietly wait for the arrival of death. When this lord's true self appears, you will know that in front of this lord, you are simply an ant and a dog. You don't even have the qualifications to make this lord attack. This lord can destroy you millions of times with just a glance. This terrifying existence said coldly, glancing sideways at Lin Feng. He didn't put Lin Feng in his eyes at all. As far as he was concerned, killing Lin Feng was a piece of cake. It was as easy as blowing off dust. Lin Feng sneered and said, "You're about to die, and yet you still dare to boast shamelessly. What a joke." The attacks of the chaotic ancient lamp and the 5 great heavenly flames became more and more violent. This terrifying existence was suppressed to the extreme. At this time, Lin Feng's soul turned into Lu Ya's star-observing map and flew out. In an instant, he flew to the front of this terrifying existence. He swept across the void gently. Poochie. A tearing sound suddenly came out. The body of that terrifying existence was instantly torn into 2 halves by Lu Ya's star-observing map, transformed by Lin Feng. Then, Lu Ya's star-observing map, transformed by Lin Feng, suddenly shook. Bang! Along with the sound of a violent collision, there was a loud sound. The body of that terrifying existence directly exploded. After destroying that terrifying existence, Lin Feng let out a long breath. At this time, Lin Feng came back to his senses and found that the soul of the Myriad Kingdom Emperor had been destroyed. The idea of exploring the secret of the Myriad Kingdom Emperor was completely ruined. He put away the Myriad Kingdom Emperor's origin and storage ring, and then quickly left with you, Simon. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor is dead? That kid actually killed the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. That's too terrifying. Even with the help of that armor, it's absolutely impossible to increase his combat strength like that. It seems that the kid's combat strength is unimaginable. Ordinary Emperor Realm cultivators can't provoke that kid. Otherwise, only death awaits. As for us, let's just watch the show. Yeah. If you have any ideas about that kid, you'll definitely end up the same as the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. After Lin Feng left, many cultivators who were watching the battle from afar began to discuss, and everyone's faces were filled with deep shock. Lin Feng's strength had completely shocked these cultivators. Now, these cultivators were emboldened. These cultivators did not dare to attack Lin Feng. By the time Emperor Taigon and the leader of the demonic bandits arrived, Lin Feng and Yu Simon had been gone for a long time. The 2 emperors learned what happened from the cultivators who were watching the battle. Their expressions couldn't help but become solemn. But soon, their killing intent became awe-inspiring, and their eyes were filled with endless greed. The silver armor Lin Feng was wearing was simply too terrifying. Lin Feng's battle prowess had increased by so much when he had put on that silver armor. Then, what if they wore it? How much would their combat strength increase? Just thinking about it made the 2 emperors extremely excited. The 2 emperors quickly left, and then they each issued a new Starry Sky wanted order, ordering Lin Feng to be wanted in the entire Starry Sky world. The news that Lin Feng had killed the Myriad Kingdom Emperor quickly spread, and this matter was spread within the surrounding dozens of starfields. This matter immediately caused a huge uproar. Countless cultivators were discussing this matter. They were all guessing Lin Feng's identity. Chapter 3499. In the Starry Sky world, the news of the Myriad country's supreme emperor being killed was still spreading among the major star fields and the major forces. After all, a supreme emperor was killed in the end. Moreover, he was killed by a young human cultivator. It was impossible for this matter not to attract attention. Soon, the news began to spread among the surrounding dozens of star fields. This news was about Lin Feng's background. This kid is called Lin Feng. He's a cultivator from the human clan of the 9 regions. After this news spread, it caused even greater waves. The 9 regions. It was a great world where countless forces had long declined. It was not until the myriad races and other forces invaded the 9 regions that everyone had a new understanding of the strength of the 9 regions. However, the decline of the human clan of the 9 regions was an indisputable fact, although there were a few old immortals in the human clan of the 9 regions. However, among the younger generation, there was almost a gap, and it was difficult to produce a top master. Lin Feng's reputation had spread among the 5 or 6 star fields outside the 9 regions' great world. However, in the vast starry sky world, there were too few people who had heard of Lin Feng. At first, I thought this kid came from some major force, so I had always been afraid of him and didn't dare to attack him. But now, it seems that there's no need to worry. This kid came from the 9 regions. Although there are top masters in the 9 regions, it seems that those top masters can't leave the 9 regions at will. We don't need to be afraid at all. If we kill Lin Feng, we'll really be rich. This kid has too many good things on him. It's time to kill him. Otherwise, when he completely grows up, it won't be easy to kill him. Some of the top masters looked indifferent and wanted to kill Lin Feng. Lin Feng was powerful. However, he was still too young. In addition, Lin Feng's combat strength was partly enhanced by the ruler's armor, so he was not taken seriously by the high-level Emperor Realm cultivators, or even cultivators beyond the Emperor Realm. The things Lin Feng had were enough for countless people to covet. The major forces were still looking for Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng did not shrink back. The path of supremacy. It was to step on the bones of countless enemies and become an invincible expert. Lin Feng was besieged several times in the starry sky world. Every time, hundreds of people attacked together. But Lin Feng was very calm. Furthermore, he attacked mercilessly, using his own combat prowess and the great, desolate demon refining bugs. Several waves of cultivators besieging him were completely annihilated. After the news spread, many people were shocked. Some of the top forces discovered that wanting to kill Lin Feng really wasn't an easy matter. Lin Feng's methods were too shocking. If the various forces wanted to kill Lin Feng, they would probably have to pay an extremely heavy price. Many of the forces there grew much quieter. They no longer sent out a large number of cultivators to besiege Lin Feng. However, the other side had sent out 6 Emperor Realm Masters. The top forces that had attacked Lin Feng wanted to use these top experts to kill Lin Feng. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He fought with the 6 Emperor Realm Masters. He sent you Simon into the mountain and river ring. This way, there would be no worries during the battle. Lin Feng wore the ruler's armor and fought a bloody battle. Fortunately, the ruler's armor's defensive power was amazing. Even if the 6 Emperor Realm Masters joined forces, they could not break Lin Feng's ruler's armor. Therefore, this supreme treasure played an extremely crucial role. This battle was very difficult. Lin Feng tore an opening and finally left successfully. Lin Feng's every move attracted the attention of countless cultivators. The news of him fighting 6 Emperor Realm Masters by himself quickly spread and shocked many star fields. Ancestor Wu Fan, I will destroy your sect, Lin Feng said coldly. Ancestor Wu Fan came from the Common Witch Starfield and was the field master of the Common Witch Starfield, 5th heaven of the Emperor Realm. Very powerful. This person was one of the 6 Emperor Realm Masters who besieged Lin Feng. Moreover, his original body was a golden crow. Lin Feng did not like Qinwu people, so he decided that the first person he would deal with was Ancestor Wu Fan. Lin Feng came to the Common Witch Star. This was the place where Ancestor Wu Fan's family resided. Common Witch Star. Looking Dragon City. People came and went, and it was very lively. Lin Feng arrived wearing the ruler's armor. Look, the cultivator in the silver armor is here. Is that the cultivator who was besieged by the 6 Emperor Realm Masters? Someone saw Lin Feng and could not help but exclaim. The 6 Emperor Realm Masters besieged Lin Feng, but Lin Feng successfully escaped. For the 6 Emperor Realm Masters, this was a great humiliation. However, for others, this matter was too shocking. It was like a legend. Now, Lin Feng actually came to the place where Ancestor Wu Fan's family resided. This surprised many people. What did Lin Feng want to do here? The ancestor is not here, but Lin Feng came to Looking Dragon Star. Quickly activate the array. Ancestor Wu Fan's family was in chaos. In many people's eyes, Lin Feng fought against so many great forces alone and killed countless cultivators who besieged him. He was like a devil incarnate. Now that Lin Feng came, he must be targeting Ancestor Wu Fan's family. Wang. In the depths of Looking Dragon City, Ancestor Wu Fan's huge family mansion was completely enveloped by a defensive barrier. Lin Feng is too scary. He can intimidate a family that rules a region. Many people could not help but take a deep breath and say, Ancestor Wu Fan's surname was Murong, which was a compound surname. Therefore, Ancestor Wu Fan's family was called the Murong family. Many people also like to call Ancestor Wu Fan's family Murong family. Originally, it was very lively outside the Murong family mansion. Many people would come to visit every day. Now, it was deserted. Around, a large number of cultivators had gathered, ready to watch the battle. Lin Feng wore the ruler's armor and walked towards the Murong family mansion step by step. Lin Feng, you'd better retreat. Otherwise, we don't mind activating the array to kill you. A cold voice came from the Murong family mansion. The Murong family had an extremely powerful ancient array, but it was very difficult to activate. However, once it was activated, its power was boundless. The other party wanted to use this to intimidate Lin Feng and make Lin Feng leave. Lin Feng, don't take the initiative to cause trouble, but I'm not someone who's afraid of trouble. If you want to kill me and snatch my treasure, you have to be prepared to pay a heavy price. Today, I will definitely destroy the Murong family. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He didn't stop and continued to walk towards the Murong family. Many people were shocked and felt that Lin Feng was extremely domineering. A powerful force that ruled a region in front of Lin Feng seemed to be able to be destroyed by Lin Feng. Chapter 3500. However, Lin Feng dared to say such a thing. Lin Feng's arrogance seemed to come from his bones. However, now, no one thought that Lin Feng was arrogant. Many people felt that what Lin Feng said was a matter of course. Countless cultivators thought so because Lin Feng's combat strength was too strong. Waves of experts besieging Lin Feng, including many great emperor-level experts, fell one after another when they besieged Lin Feng. In addition, 6 great emperor-level experts besieged Lin Feng, but Lin Feng successfully escaped. Many things showed how terrifying Lin Feng was at this moment. With Lin Feng's combat strength, it was not impossible for him to destroy the Murong clan if he went all out. Since you're courting death, we'll fulfill your wish. Seeing Lin Feng constantly approaching, the experts of the Murong clan could not help but shout coldly. They were completely filled with killing intent. Buzz. Then, violent fluctuations swept through heaven and earth. Lines of emperor-level inscriptions intertwined in the void. A powerful formation, one that contained emperor runes, was in the midst of brewing. I heard that the Murong clan's ancestor was an emperor-level expert in the past. These great formations should be left behind by that emperor-level expert. A cultivator said, talking about some things that happened in the Murong clan in the past, and the experts that appeared. Emperor-level experts were naturally terrifying. They were only one step away from surpassing the emperor realm. Now that cultivation had declined, experts of this level were very rare. In fact, even in the golden age of cultivation, emperor-level experts were as rare as phoenix feathers and Qilin horns. The great formations set up by experts of this level were naturally extremely terrifying. Many of the great killing formations contained the power to destroy heaven and earth. The most terrifying ones were the emperor-level inscriptions set up by emperor-level experts. Those distorted emperor-level inscriptions contained unimaginable power. Once the emperor-level inscriptions were activated, they could often play the role of reversing the battle. Now, the Murong clan activated the ultimate killing formation passed down by the sovereign master. The densely packed emperor runes intertwined and shot towards Lin Feng. The sovereign lord-level formation is unleashing its power. I wonder if Lin Feng can withstand such a powerful attack? A cultivator couldn't help but ask. He wasn't sure if Lin Feng could withstand such a terrifying attack. Countless cultivators stared at Lin Feng. They were waiting for Lin Feng to make his next move. Boom! When the densely packed emperor runes were about to bombard Lin Feng, Everyone saw a terrifying aura surge out of Lin Feng's body. Then, Lin Feng leaped out. In the void, with a light slash, puff, a tearing sound rang out. The Emperor rune left behind by an Emperor Lord was actually torn apart by Lin Feng. Although Lin Feng had only torn a few Emperor runes, it was enough for him to escape. Swoosh! With a flash of light, Lin Feng appeared in the Morong clan's mansion. Heavens! The formation is broken. Isn't this too simple? How did Lin Feng break such a terrifying formation? Countless cultivators couldn't help but exclaim. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Although the Morong clan's Emperor Lord level formation was no longer as powerful as before due to the passage of time, it was still an Emperor Lord level formation. However, an Emperor Lord level formation was still an Emperor Lord level formation. Even though its power had decreased significantly, it was still extremely terrifying. No matter how powerful Lin Feng was, facing such a terrifying formation, there should be an intense battle, right? After this battle, whether or not the formation would be separated would be a matter for the future. However, the reality was completely different from what everyone had imagined. Lin Feng had easily broken the Morong clan's formation. It was truly inconceivable. You. Seeing Lin Feng hovering above the mansion, the Morong clan's cultivators had extremely ugly expressions. Let's start by destroying the Morong clan. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He raised his right hand and slammed it toward the Morong clan. In the void, a huge palm that could cover the sky condensed and enveloped the entire Morong clan. That huge energy palm emitted a terrifying pressure that made people suffocate. When many people saw the huge energy palm, their souls couldn't help but tremble slightly. Lin Feng, do you really want to kill us all? Why don't we each take a step back and let the world be clear? An expert from the Morong clan said. Lin Feng smiled coldly. Even at that moment, the people of the Morong clan still had the impression that they were arrogant. Lin Feng couldn't help but sneer. The Morong clan's people were too arrogant. Lin Feng naturally wouldn't let the Morong clan's people go. Right now, he needed to establish his might. The best way to establish his might in the universe was to destroy the other party's forces. Only then would he be able to intimidate the other forces. At the same time, he would establish his own supreme might. Destroy. Lin Feng spat out a word coldly. Then, the energy palm that he condensed directly descended from the sky and slammed toward the Morong clan's mansion. Kill. Fight it out with him. Many experts from the Morong clan soared into the sky. There were even great Emperor Realm experts who attacked. These people wanted to join forces to fight against Lin Feng, but they couldn't do it at all. Lin Feng's attack was too terrifying. The powerful energy palm slammed down. Immediately, one by one, the cultivators were directly killed in the void. Their bodies exploded and turned into a bloody mist. Then, the energy palm that Lin Feng condensed directly destroyed the Morong clan. Countless people from the Morong clan were killed. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He didn't look at the Morong clan that had already turned into ruins. It was difficult for cultivators to survive. If they wanted to survive, they had to be decisive. Otherwise, everyone would think that they were easy to bully. When the time came, there would be countless troubles. The path of a supreme being was definitely filled with thorns and dangers. This path was also destined to be filled with countless corpses. Lin Feng couldn't retreat. Otherwise, only death would await him. Soon, Lin Feng left. The news of the Morong clan's annihilation quickly spread. Ancestor Wu Fan was still outside searching for Lin Feng's whereabouts. When he heard that his clan was actually annihilated by Lin Feng, he was immediately enraged and spat out 3 mouthfuls of blood. Lin Feng, you vicious and merciless little bastard. I will definitely cut you into pieces. Ancestor Wu Fan said with killing intent. Lin Feng replied coldly, this is just the beginning. I will first annihilate your clan. Soon, you will follow in their footsteps. After Lin Feng's words spread, it could be said that it caused a huge wave. Lin Feng was simply too arrogant, too arrogant. Chapter 3501. The 6 emperors besieging Lin Feng were Ancestor Wu Fan, the leader of the evil demon bandit group, Emperor Taigon, Emperor Yuan Feng, Emperor Thousand Transformations, and Lady Bai Ling. Evil Demon Star. The Evil Demon Bandit Group's headquarters. This was where the Evil Demon Bandit Group was entrenched. The Evil Demon Bandit Group was not a terrifying existence that any force dared to provoke. This force was too powerful, with countless experts. Of course, the most important thing was that this force had an Emperor Realm expert overseeing it. Therefore, the Evil Demon Bandit Group was a terrifying existence that not many people dared to provoke in the starry sky world. Lin Feng crossed 24 star fields and arrived at the Evil Demon Bandit Group's headquarters. Since he had already made his move, Lin Feng wanted to kill to his heart's content. The Evil Demon Star was enveloped by a powerful restriction. Lin Feng held the Black Dragon Sword and slashed out. Puff! The sound of something tearing suddenly rang out. The Evil Demon Star's restriction was destroyed by Lin Feng's Black Dragon Sword, and then Lin Feng entered the Evil Demon Star. The silver armor had almost become Lin Feng's symbol. When they saw the cultivator wearing the silver armor arrive, the expressions of the Evil Demon Bandit Group's cultivators changed drastically. They had naturally heard of Lin Feng's name long ago. They had even heard of the Morong family, where ancestor Wu Fan was from, being destroyed by Lin Feng. But the Evil Demon Bandit Group still did not view Lin Feng as a threat, because the Evil Demon Bandit Group's Evil Demon Star was too far away from the star field where ancestor Wu Fan was. No one thought that Lin Feng would cross the star field to come here. But no one would have thought that Lin Feng would actually cross the star field to come here. Lin Feng stood in the void, one palm after another bombarding the Evil Demon Bandit Group's cultivators in the ancient city below. The Evil Demon Bandit Group had built a huge ancient city, where the elites of the Evil Demon Bandit Group were gathered. A large number of cultivators soared into the sky, but it was useless. No one was a match for Lin Feng. Just as the experts of the Evil Devil Bandits rushed into the air, their flesh exploded, and they died on the spot. Many great emperors also rushed out. There were even 2 imperial emperors among them. However, these great emperors were no match for Lin Feng. God emperors and immortal emperors were easily killed by Lin Feng. He had converted 2 imperial emperor-level experts and made them his slaves. The 2 sovereign emperors that Lin Feng had converted helped Lin Feng deal with the cultivators from the Fiend Bandit Group. It was a bloody massacre. The Evil Devil Star was destroyed. The Evil Demon Bandits were destroyed. Su Tian, Su Xin, bring me to the treasury. Lin Feng looked at Su Tian and Su Senior. These 2 were originally the vice-captains of the Evil Demon Bandits. Moreover, the 2 of them were biological brothers. But now, he had become Lin Feng's servant. One of them was at the 5th heaven of the Imperial Emperor Realm. The other was at the 7th heaven of the Imperial Emperor Realm. His combat strength was extremely tyrannical, but he was no match for Lin Feng at all. Of course, a portion of the elite experts of the Evil Demon Bandits had followed the captain of the Evil Demon Bandits out and were not on the Evil Devil Star. Therefore, there were still some remaining forces of the Evil Demon Bandits. Lin Feng planned to find an opportunity to destroy those people in the future. Master, please follow us, the Su brothers hurriedly said. Lin Feng nodded and followed behind the Su brothers towards the treasury built by the Evil Demon Bandits. The treasury of the Evil Demon Bandits. It was incomparably huge. The laws of space were used here, and there were endless treasures piled up. Su Tian said, "No one knows how many things are piled up in this place. Most of them were looted, and some of them were found by chance in some cave mansions and obtained from those cave mansions." Lin Feng nodded and looked at the various treasures piled up together. He couldn't help but feel shocked. Over the years, Lin Feng had collected countless treasures, but compared to the treasures collected by the Evil Demon Bandits, they paled in comparison. There are so many treasures, but you don't even look at them. Why do you keep robbing and killing cultivators and merchant ships? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. He didn't understand what these bandits were thinking. With so many treasures, wouldn't it be better to exchange them for cultivation resources and find a place to cultivate? However, this was not the case for the Evil Demon Bandits. With so many treasures piled up, the upper echelons of the Evil Demon Bandits rarely looked through the treasures. It was unknown how many treasures they had obtained. Then, they continued to burn, kill, and rob. Lin Feng felt that there was something wrong with these people's heads. Su San said, Master, when we first formed the bandit group, we were very excited when we robbed all kinds of treasures. However, as time went by, we saw too many treasures. Unless it was a treasure that defied the natural order, very few treasures could excite us. We continued to rob these treasures, not because we liked them, but because we had formed a morbid habit. We wanted to practice hard, but we couldn't. We just wanted to rob and kill. If we didn't do these things, we would feel extremely uncomfortable. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. He couldn't help but think of many people who drank too much. Those people, because they were addicted to alcohol. If they were forced to stop drinking, it would be worse than killing them. These bandits used the same principle to kill and rob. They had formed a kind of psychological and physical dependence. If they didn't do these things, they would suffer a fate worse than death. Lin Feng looked at the pile of treasures. Perhaps there were some amazing things here, but these treasures had been piled up for too long. It was not an easy task to find the real treasures. Fortunately, Lin Feng had the dragon rabbit to help him. Lin Feng summoned the dragon rabbit. Little guy, find the most precious treasure here for me. Lin Feng gave the order to the dragon rabbit. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The dragon rabbit waved its little claws and called out to Lin Feng. The little guy looked very excited. It had been a while since Lin Feng summoned it. This made the dragon rabbit very disappointed. It felt that Lin Feng didn't need it anymore. Now that it could help Lin Feng do things, the dragon rabbit was very happy and motivated. The little guy quickly plunged into the endless treasures. Not long after, the little guy rushed out with a white jade box in its mouth. Then, the little guy handed the white jade box to Lin Feng. What's this? Lin Feng was shocked. He opened the white jade box and saw a 7-colored divine flower lying in it. Lin Feng didn't know the origin of this 7-colored divine flower. Chapter 3502. Rainbow Holy Flower. What's the use of this thing? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask curiously. The demon lord was very knowledgeable. What kind of treasure had he not seen before? However, this treasure seemed to have surprised the demon lord. From this, it could be seen that this treasure was definitely extraordinary. The demon lord said, "This is a treasure that was born in the Essence Soul Great World." This treasure was very rare in the Essence Soul Great World. Later on, the Essence Soul Great World was destroyed. From then on, the Rainbow Holy Flower lost its habitat. Therefore, it's basically impossible to see this thing now. The Rainbow Holy Flower's use is also extremely shocking. It can allow a cultivator to form a new primordial spirit. After hearing the demon lord's words, Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. Now, Lin Feng had a main primordial spirit. 3 main primordial spirits. He could do 4 things at once. If he could cultivate another primordial spirit, he would be able to do 5 things at once. Now that he knew the use of the Rainbow Holy Flower, Lin Feng was ecstatic. Of course, now was not the time to refine the Rainbow Holy Flower. Lin Feng kept the Rainbow Holy Flower in his mountain river ring. He continued to wait for the dragon rabbit to find a powerful treasure for him. Whoosh! Not long after, the dragon rabbit rushed out again. This time, the dragon rabbit was holding something in its mouth. This time, the dragon rabbit took out a yellow Tao scripture. The dragon rabbit handed the Tao scripture to Lin Feng. Then, it continued to rush into the treasure mountain to find other treasures. Lin Feng opened the Tao scripture and started to read it. This Tao scripture was written in divine text. However, the divine text was severely missing. The Tao scripture was too old. Therefore, many of the words were extremely blurry. Lin Feng carefully read the parts of the Tao scripture that he could still recognize. Lin Feng was shocked to find that this Tao scripture was actually related to the orthodoxy of an earthly emperor. The human race started from the first earthly emperor. There were 9 earthly emperors. 9 earthly emperors. They were all extremely terrifying. The 9 earthly emperors created the Emperor Brush. The 9th earthly emperor had forged the Earth Emperor's book. The Earth Emperor's book was an extremely terrifying treasure. The Emperor Brush represented the orthodox Tao of the human race. In that case, the Earth Emperor's book represented virtue. It represented the great Tao of Earth. heaven and earth. Since there was the great Tao of heaven, naturally, there was also the great Tao of earth. However, regardless of whether it was the great Tao of heaven or the great Tao of earth, they all represented the orthodoxy of heaven and earth, the supreme great Tao, mysterious and unfathomable. The Tao scriptures are related to the Emperor of Earth, but the Tao scriptures are incomplete and the most important parts are missing. Lin Feng could not help but mutter to himself. He vaguely felt that this Taoist scripture was hiding some other secrets. However, if he wanted to know the secrets hidden in the sutra, he would have to know. He needed to comprehend it. Lin Feng put away the Taoist scripture related to the earthly sovereign. I'll study it when I have time in the future. Perhaps he might be able to discover something profound about it. If he could find the orthodoxy of the earthly sovereign, or perhaps he could find the Earth Emperor's book. For Lin Feng, this was definitely a huge help. Of course, Lin Feng was also very clear. This kind of thing could only be encountered by chance. At this time, the dragon rabbit flew out again, just like the previous 2 times. This time, the dragon rabbit also took out something from its mouth. This time, what the dragon rabbit brought out was actually a jade tube. Lin Feng took the jade tube that the dragon rabbit handed to him. Then, the dragon rabbit squeaked, and it kept waving its little claws and gesturing something to Lin Feng. This was the dragon rabbit's body language. Ordinary people might not understand it, but Lin Feng had been with the dragon rabbit for many years. Therefore, it was easy for him to recognize what the dragon rabbit's body language was trying to express. You're saying that there are many cultivation divine powers imprinted in this? Lin Feng looked at the dragon rabbit and asked curiously. The dragon rabbit immediately nodded. Lin Feng could not help but feel shocked. This jade tube actually recorded the cultivation method of divine powers. It was just that he did not know what kind of divine powers were recorded in the jade tube. The various divine powers naturally had different values. And at the current stage, what Lin Feng wanted the most was the 3,000 Great Tao, because the 3,000 Great Tao were too important to Lin Feng. Before becoming an emperor, Lin Feng wanted to collect all the 3,000 Great Tao as much as possible. Lin Feng's spiritual will invaded the jade tube. Instantly, Lin Feng felt as if he had arrived in a boundless world. In this boundless world, there were stars floating in mid-air. Those stars were of different sizes, and the power that lingered around them was also different. Divine power stars. Lin Feng could not help but be shocked. The cultivator who forged the jade tube was definitely extremely extraordinary. Or else, it was impossible to evolve the divine powers into the appearance of stars. One had to know. Even the current Lin Feng was far from being able to do this. Lin Feng began to explore the stars one by one. His divine sense probed the first star. He discovered that the divine powers recorded in this star was a divine powers called Destructive Demon Fist. Lin Feng began to explore the stars one by one. He immediately discovered the divine powers recorded in these stars were very diverse. However, many of the divine powers were extremely powerful. There were even a few immortal techniques recorded. Other than that, there were also many records of the 3,000 Great Tao. However, Lin Feng had already cultivated a lot of the 3,000 Great Tao. So, Lin Feng had already cultivated many of the 3,000 Great Tao recorded in the jade tube. Of course, there were also 3,000 Great Tao that Lin Feng had never cultivated. There were a total of 50 of these 3,000 Great Tao. This made Lin Feng extremely happy. Any of the 3,000 Great Tao was precious. Not to mention that he had obtained a total of 53,000 Great Tao this time. At this moment, the dragon rabbit flew out again. Then, the dragon rabbit bared its fangs and brandished its claws. It looked rather anxious as it said something. The dragon rabbit seemed to have seen something unbelievable, so it asked Lin Feng to go over and take a look. Lin Feng couldn't help but be very shocked. He didn't know what it was that made this little guy not dare to bring that thing over. There was even a terrified expression in the little fellow's eyes. This made Lin Feng even more curious. Lin Feng let the dragon rabbit lead the way. Then, he followed behind the dragon rabbit and flew into the treasure vault. The Su brothers followed closely behind, because the treasure vault contained the spatial laws. Therefore, the area was extremely huge. They flew for more than 10 miles. They arrived at that place just now. The place where Lin Feng and the others arrived at had a large number of immortal stones piled up. Those immortal stones were piled up into a mountain peak. Now, the mountain peak that was piled up with immortal stones cracked. A black hole appeared. The dragon rabbit was the first to enter the black hole. Then, Lin Feng and the Su brothers also followed the dragon rabbit inside. There was a cave at the bottom of the immortal stone mountain peak. Inside the cave, there was a huge immortal stone. The immortal stone was translucent. Inside the immortal stone. Chapter 3503. What's that thing? Lin Feng looked at the immortal stone in surprise. That immortal stone was extraordinary. A mysterious power was emitted from the immortal stone. The thing sealed inside the immortal stone was very mysterious. He didn't know what it was. Lin Feng wanted to take a closer look at that thing. However, that thing was very blurry and couldn't be seen clearly. However, the fact that the dragon rabbit brought Lin Feng here was enough to show that that thing was extraordinary. Only extremely shocking things could attract the attention of the dragon rabbit. Ordinary treasures couldn't attract the dragon rabbit's attention at all. However, Lin Feng didn't know what that treasure was. He came to the side of the immortal stone and studied it carefully. He found that the immortal stone was covered with mysterious runes. Each of the runes emitted a shocking energy fluctuation. Under the contrast of those runes, the entire immortal stone looked like a coffin. However, Lin Feng had never seen a coffin made of immortal stone. However, Lin Feng soon discovered something new. He vaguely felt a trace of life aura from the immortal stone. Although that feeling was very weak, he felt it after all. Lin Feng couldn't help but be puzzled. He suddenly had a different idea. Could it be that the immortal stone was nurturing a terrifying creature? Strictly speaking, immortal stones were also a type of stone. Therefore, it was possible for immortal stones to nurture some terrifying creatures. As for a high-grade stone, like an immortal stone, if some terrifying existences were to be born, it would be an extremely shocking matter. Maybe I can break open the immortal stone and see if it's a living creature that's nurtured inside. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. He tried to break open the immortal stone. However, after several attempts, he failed. Lin Feng frowned. The immortal stone was indeed extraordinary. It really wasn't an easy task to break open the immortal stone. However, Lin Feng didn't want to give up because he felt that after opening this immortal stone, there should be a shocking discovery. What was sealed inside the immortal stone? It would definitely be earth-shattering and shocking. Since he couldn't break the immortal stone for the time being, Lin Feng planned to collect the immortal stones. He would find a chance to break open the immortal stone in the future. After leaving the cave, the dragon rabbit continued to search for other treasures. However, there were not many treasures that could catch the dragon rabbit's eye. In the end, the dragon rabbit did not find any other treasures. Lin Feng allowed the dragon rabbit to return to the mountain river ring, following which, he began to move the various treasures from the treasury into his own mountain river ring. A large number of treasures entered Lin Feng's mountain river ring. After emptying the evil demon bandit's treasury, Lin Feng quickly left. The news of the destruction of the demonic bandit group's headquarters quickly spread out, causing an even greater shock. This was because the evil demon bandits were a much more powerful force than the Morong family. Now, they had been destroyed. The news has been confirmed. The evil demon bandits were destroyed by Lin Feng. Soon, the news spread that the evil demon bandits were also destroyed by Lin Feng. This news caused a huge shock. Lin Feng had first killed 10,000 emperors, then destroyed the Morong family and the evil demon bandits. This was the most direct way for Lin Feng to respond to the 6 emperors. News of Lin Feng's decisiveness quickly spread through the dozens of star fields. Countless people were very wary of him. At this time, the 6 emperors were divided. The Morong family and the evil demon bandits were destroyed by Lin Feng one after another. Therefore, old ancestor Wu Fan, the leader of the evil demon bandits, and Lin Feng's relationship was completely irreconcilable. There was no room for reconciliation between the two sides. However, the other 4 emperors did not have such a deep grudge with Lin Feng. Now, they saw how terrifying Lin Feng's methods were. Therefore, they could not help but be very worried that the forces behind them would be destroyed by Lin Feng. We withdraw. We will no longer participate in this matter. The other four emperors spoke one after another. They did not want to continue to participate in the encirclement of Lin Feng. Even Emperor Tai Gan also spoke out. Previously, Lin Feng had stolen the Time Stone. Emperor Tai Gan hated Lin Feng to the bone and wanted to kill Lin Feng. But now, Lin Feng's combat strength was getting stronger and stronger. Emperor Tai Gan was also afraid. Therefore, he wanted to take the initiative to ask for peace. The four emperors took the initiative to ask for peace. This matter could be said to have caused a huge uproar in the starry sky world. After all, emperors were lofty existences. They were incomparably powerful and looked down on all living beings. Any emperor realm master was a lofty existence. But now, four emperors were compromising with a young human cultivator at the same time. It was really unbelievable. Normally, if people heard about this matter, they would not believe it at all. However, now that it had happened in front of their eyes, they could not help but believe it. Don't you think it's too late to compromise now? However, this young master will give you a chance. If each of you contribute at least 100 types of the 3,000 great Daos that I have never cultivated, I will let bygones be bygones. Lin Feng said with an indifferent expression. He directly threatened the four emperors. The four emperors were almost angered to death by Lin Feng. Countless cultivators in the starry sky world were shocked. Lin Feng dared to threaten the four emperors. Did he want to fight to the death with the four emperors? However, these cultivators in the outside world did not know that although the four emperors were angered to death by Lin Feng, they did not reject Lin Feng's proposal. Of course, the four emperors chose another way to ease the relationship between the two sides with Lin Feng. This way was negotiation. Lin Feng also knew that it was simply impossible to collect 100 types of the 3,000 great Daos that he had never cultivated from the four emperors. After all, now, Lin Feng had cultivated a total of 2,400 types of the 3,000 great Daos, and he still had 51 types of the 3,000 great Daos that he had not cultivated. Even though the four emperors had mastered many of the 3,000 great Daos, many of them should have overlapped with the 3,000 great Daos that Lin Feng had cultivated. In the end, the four emperors had collected 59 types of the 3,000 great Daos. Lin Feng had never cultivated these 59 types of the 3,000 great Daos, including the 51 types of the 3,000 great Daos that he had not cultivated before, plus the 2,400 types of the 3,000 great Daos that he had successfully cultivated. Lin Feng had obtained a total of 2,510 types of the 3,000 great Daos. The grudge between Lin Feng and the four emperors had come to an end, and the leader of the demonic bandits and ancestor Wu Fan did not make any moves. No one knew what they were thinking. Chapter 3504. Rescuing Yu Simon's father was an urgent matter. Now, Lin Feng was also worried that his father-in-law would be killed by those people. This time, Lin Feng and Yu Simon were going to a place called the Lone Wolf Star Zone. The Lone Wolf Star Zone's domain master was said to be a star demon wolf, known as the Lone Wolf Emperor. He was very powerful. In the past, Yu Simon's father went out to train when he was young and met this terrifying existence. For many years after that, Yu Simon's father and the Lone Wolf Emperor maintained a very close relationship. Of course, the Lone Wolf Sovereign wasn't the one who had the best relationship with Yu Simon's father. But there was nothing they could do. The other powerhouses were not willing to get involved in this muddy water at all. As for the Myriad Kingdom Emperor, he chased after Lin Feng and Yu Simon all the way. People's hearts were unpredictable. The friends made when they were noble often had not experienced any trials. Therefore, once something happened, they would often stand by and watch, or even cut off all ties. And the best relationships were often those made when they went through life and death together, or when they were in the early stages of cultivation. Yu Simon did not know if the Lone Wolf Emperor would coldly and heartlessly reject her like the previous Emperor-level powerhouses. But now, Yu Simon had no other choice. On the way, Lin Feng was comprehending the 3,000 great Daos he had obtained. These 3,000 great Daos might be very difficult for others to cultivate, but for Lin Feng, it was extremely simple. Of course, with so many 3,000 great das, it would take some time to cultivate them all. When Lin Feng and Yu Simon arrived at the Lone Wolf Star Zone, Lin Feng had only just cultivated a dozen or so of the 3,000 great das. Of course, it took more than a month to cultivate so many of the 3,000 great das. It was already extremely difficult. Lin Feng and Yu Simon landed on the Lone Wolf Star together. The Lone Wolf Star was also very lively, with people coming and going. After arriving at the Lone Wolf Star, Lin Feng and Yu Simon went straight to the core ancient city of the Lone Wolf Star. This core ancient city was called Lone Wolf City. The Lone Wolf Emperor cultivated in Lone Wolf City. Lone Wolf City was bustling with activity. Many cultivators were talking about the mysterious starry sky ancient city that had appeared some time ago. It was said that many cultivators had entered the ancient starry sky city. Moreover, he had obtained many extraordinary items in the ancient city. Some cultivators kept the treasures they obtained for their own use. A portion of the cultivators took out their treasures, intending to exchange them for supreme treasures. There were rumors that many cultivators had entrusted the auction house to deal with their treasures. The auction house was planning to hold a small trade fair. At that time, the trade fair would be bartering. After the matter was completed, the cultivators who entrusted the auction house with their help would pay a considerable commission. At present, many cultivators were discussing the trade fair. Many of them were guessing what kind of powerful treasures would appear during the trade fair. Because of this trade fair, therefore, during this period of time, Lone Wolf City had attracted many experts. Many of them had come for this trade fair. After arriving at Lone Wolf City, Lin Feng and Yu Simon headed towards the City Lord's mansion where the Lone Wolf Supreme Venerable resided. From time to time, powerful exotic beasts would pass through the sky. There were often some young cultivators sitting on top of those exotic beasts. Those cultivators were all young elites from various large factions. This time, they had also been attracted by the trade fair in Lone Wolf City. A direct descendant of the Lone Wolf Supreme Venerable held a gathering and invited these young elites to the City Lord's mansion. Many people wanted to go to the City Lord's mansion to inquire about what kind of good items would appear at the trade fair. That ancient starry sky city was very extraordinary. Lin Feng heard many things about that ancient starry sky city along the way. There were even rumors that someone had obtained a stone sword in the ancient starry sky city and intended to trade it. This matter caused a huge uproar, shocking and moving countless people. Because many cultivators had heard of the stone sword's reputation, they knew how terrifying this treasure was. If they could obtain the stone sword, it would be absolutely heaven-defying. Lin Feng could not help but be shocked when he heard about the stone sword. Was the stone sword that was widely rumored in Lone Wolf City one of the 36 stone swords? Because he had not seen the stone sword, Lin Feng could not be sure if it was one of the 36 stone swords. Lin Feng was quite interested in this trade fair, but it would only be held 3 days later. Now, Lin Feng's main task was to accompany Yu Simon to visit the Lone Wolf Supreme Venerable. Roar! A loud dragon roar resounded through heaven and earth. In the distance, 3 huge flood dragons pulled a divine chariot over. The divine chariot was surrounded by endless divine light and was densely covered with runes. At a glance, it was obvious that it was an extremely extraordinary divine chariot. The owner of the divine chariot was probably going to the City Lord's mansion to participate in the gathering. In a short period of time, many young elites had already rushed in the direction of the City Lord's mansion. Suddenly, the divine chariot stopped in the void. The 3 huge flood dragons looked around with a cold expression. After feeling the aura of the 3 huge flood dragons, many cultivators on the street could not help but tremble slightly. "You, Simon, I never thought that we would meet here." At this moment, a voice came from the divine chariot. It was a man, and from the voice, it seemed to be a rather young man. And that man obviously knew Yu Simon. Zhang Yufeng. After hearing the voice, Yu Simon could not help but frown. "That's right. It's me." After the voice fell, a cultivator stepped out of the divine chariot. That was a handsome man, incomparably handsome. Moreover, this man's cultivation should be very strong because the void around him was slightly distorted. From this, one could see how tyrannical this man's cultivation was. Who is this person? Lin Feng looked at Yu Simon and could not help but ask. Yu Simon said, someone from the infinite world, the grandson of a sage emperor powerhouse. His cultivation is extremely tyrannical. A sage emperor was an existence that surpassed the emperor realm. This level of powerhouse was extremely rare. Any sage emperor powerhouse in the starry sky world was at the level of a giant. When a sage emperor powerhouse saw a sage emperor, they would have to bow. This cultivator called Zhang Yufeng was actually the direct grandson of a sage emperor. His identity was really extraordinary. Zhang Yufeng saw Lin Feng, who was beside Yu Simon, and raised his eyebrows. In his eyes, there was a flash of coldness. Chapter 3505. Yu Simon was a meticulous person. She knew that Lin Feng could see through many things very clearly. Her relationship with Zhang Yufeng should be suspicious of Lin Feng. Yu Simon said in a low voice, I met this person when I went out to train in the past. At that time, we experienced many things together. This Zhang Yufeng once pursued me, but I rejected him. Lin Feng nodded. It was similar to what he had guessed. A peerless beauty like Yu Simon was indeed too charming. She could make many people fall head over heels for her. Therefore, Yu Simon naturally had no lack of suitors. At this time, Zhang Yufeng's frown deepened. He realized that the relationship between Lin Feng and Yu Simon seemed to be quite close. Just as Yu Simon said before, Zhang Yufeng had pursued her before, but was rejected by Yu Simon. Even now, Zhang Yufeng had not given up. When he saw Yu Simon again, he naturally wanted to win her back. However, Yu Simon seemed to be taken. This made Zhang Yufeng very jealous. In Zhang Yufeng's view, Lin Feng was just a human cultivator. Cultivation, bloodline, family background, and so on. How could he be compared to him? He had pursued Yu Simon before, but he was rejected by her. Lin Feng, who could not compare to him in any way, how could he win Yu Simon's favor? It had to be said that jealousy was the source of all evil. When jealousy arose in the heart, no matter what race a cultivator was from, jealousy would completely change everything. Zhang Yufeng said with a fake smile, Sister Seaman, you still haven't introduced the origin of this brother beside you. Zhang Yufeng's address made Yu Simon frown slightly. Yu Simon said indifferently, Young Master Zhang, don't call me that. I don't want to cause unnecessary misunderstandings. The corner of Zhang Yufeng's eyes twitched violently. His expression was extremely gloomy. Then, Yu Simon and Lin Feng left together. Yu Simon did not introduce Lin Feng to Zhang Yufeng. The two sides didn't have much interaction, so there was no need to know so clearly. Moreover, was Lin Feng's identity something that just anyone could know? If Lin Feng's identity were to spread out, it would definitely cause a huge uproar. Moreover, Yu Simon didn't have a good impression of Zhang Yufeng. It could even be described as extremely bad. This was because Yu Simon felt a deep hostility towards Lin Feng from Zhang Yufeng. Yu Simon naturally knew where this hostility came from. Therefore, Yu Simon didn't want to get entangled with Zhang Yufeng. As for Lin Feng, from the beginning to the end, he did not put Zhang Yufeng in his eyes. This Zhang Yufeng's cultivation was indeed not bad. But that was all. Lin Feng didn't even look at him. Damn it. This bitch actually dares to ignore this young master. Zhang Yufeng's expression was extremely gloomy. A cultivator beside Zhang Yufeng said, I heard that Supreme Venerable Myriad Star was suppressed by a few people from a terrifying force. The Yu family is completely finished. Yu Simon, who has lost her backing, no longer has the right to be arrogant. Zhang Yufeng nodded. That's right. She no longer has the right to be arrogant. This young master can get any woman he fancies. Then, Zhang Yufeng and his other companion entered the divine chariot. 3 WIRMS pulled the divine chariot and quickly left. Lin Feng and Yu Simon arrived at the city lord's mansion. The city lord's mansion was bustling with noise and excitement. Many top-notch geniuses had arrived. You can only enter if you show your invitation card. Lin Feng and Yu Simon were stopped by the guards. Yu Simon took out a jade pendant and handed it to the guard. She said, Please give this jade pendant to Uncle Supreme Venerable Lone Wolf. Uncle Supreme Venerable Lone Wolf? The guards were instantly shocked. The leader of the guards felt that the person who took out the jade pendant was very likely to have an extraordinary identity. He nodded and said, "Please wait in the living room." He arranged for his subordinates to bring Lin Feng and Yu Simon to the living room to rest. Then, he took the jade pendant and quickly left. When they arrived at the living room, a servant quickly served tea. Lin Feng and Yu Simon waited patiently. Not long after, a young cultivator walked in. "Ha ha ha, so it's Sister Seaman. Sorry for not coming out to meet you." The cultivator who had arrived at the living room was quite young and thin. However, he was in high spirits. His eyes, in particular, were emitting a faint green light. Those eyes were very intimidating. This person was much stronger than Zhang Yufeng, whom Lin Feng had met before. He was definitely a powerful figure. Yu Simon smiled and said, "So it's Brother Tuahai. Long time no see. How are you doing, brother?" "Thanks to you, sister. Everything is fine. I already know about Uncle Supreme Venerable Myriad Star, but you still need to wait for a few days. My father has been in seclusion for more than 100 years. However, I estimate that he will come out soon. When the time comes, I will bring Sister Seaman to meet him, but I can't guarantee anything," Dongfang Tuahai said. His attitude was quite kind, which made Yu Simon, who had been rejected many times, feel a little better. "Thank you, brother." Yu Simon bowed to Dongfang Tuahai. Dongfang Tuahai said, "Sister Seaman, you're welcome. I didn't do anything. Unfortunately, my cultivation is limited, so I can't help you much." Then, Dongfang Tuahai glanced at Lin Feng and said with a smile, "Brother, are you Sister Seaman's lover?" Dongfang Tuahai knew Yu Simon more or less. She had no contact with male cultivators, but now she had come here with Lin Feng. Moreover, Yu Simon looked at Lin Feng affectionately, which naturally made Dongfang Tuahai speculate. Dongfang Tuahai clearly knew how arrogant Yu Simon was. She didn't like many young masters who were direct descendants of big forces. However, Yu Simon was now in love with Lin Feng. That made Dongfang Tuahai very curious about Lin Feng's identity. The young human cultivator in front of him looked very ordinary. What kind of charm did he have to be able to conquer Yu Simon? Dongfang Tuahai was a very straightforward person. After hearing Dongfang Tuahai's words, Yu Simon blushed slightly. Lin Feng said generously, "Just as you guessed, Your Excellency, Yu Simon and I are lovers." "I admire you. You managed to capture Sister Seaman's heart. My name is Dongfang Tuahai. I haven't asked for your name yet." Dongfang Tuahai didn't look down on Lin Feng because of his low cultivation level. He cupped his fists and asked, "My surname is Lin. My name is Feng." Lin Feng replied, "You are Lin Feng." Chapter 3506. Now, in the surrounding dozens of star fields, who didn't know Lin Feng's name? Who didn't know him? He killed 10,000 emperors. He destroyed the Morong family and the evil demon bandits. He forced the 4 emperors to bow their heads and beg for peace. Any one of these things was enough to shock everyone. But so many things were done by one person. And that person was Lin Feng. He was right in front of them. Countless forces and cultivators were talking about Lin Feng. Many people were guessing what kind of person Lin Feng was. However, in the vast star field, cultivators who had seen Lin Feng were as rare as phoenix feathers and unicorn horns. Everyone's understanding of Lin Feng was too limited. However, many people knew how terrifying Lin Feng was. He could kill emperors at such a young age. No one knew how far he would grow in the future. Besides, Lin Feng's decisive personality had become the topic of many people's conversations. Now, when people talked about Lin Feng, they all looked at him in awe. This was the majesty that Lin Feng had built up along the way. Countless people trembled in fear when they heard his name. Dongfang Tuahai had naturally heard of Lin Feng's name. Dongfang Tuahai had cultivated for 15,700 years. He was now at the peak of the immortal emperor realm. His talent was definitely top-notch. Among the geniuses of the starry sky world, Dongfang Tuahai was also one of the top geniuses. However, compared with Lin Feng, he was naturally far behind. However, Dongfang Tuahai had never been jealous of Lin Feng, because when the gap between two people was too big, it was not jealousy but admiration. Generally, when someone who was inferior to him got something that he wanted but couldn't get, it would make people jealous. Now, the famous Lin Feng had appeared in their Dongfang family. How could Yuan Tuahai not be shocked? Now Yuan Tuahai finally knew why Yu Simon, the goddess of heaven who used to be very repulsive to men, loved the man in front of him so much. Perhaps, in this world, very few women could resist the charm of this man in front of them. So it's Brother Lin. My apologies, my apologies. Dongfang Tuahai hurriedly cupped his fists and said. Lin Feng said, Brother Dongfang, there's no need to be so polite. Brother Dongfang, please do not reveal my identity for the time being. Brother Lin, don't worry. Tuahai will definitely not reveal Brother Lin's identity. Dongfang Tuahai hurriedly promised. Lin Feng nodded. Dongfang Tuahai said, soon, there will be a gathering. At that time, many young masters of the direct line of descent from many star fields will come. Are Brother Lin and Sister Seaman interested in participating? Lin Feng wasn't very interested in this kind of gathering. Yu Simon had no interest in attending the party. Lin Feng was about to refuse. At this time, Dongfang Tuahai continued, it is said that someone saw the mysterious coffin carrier in the starry sky world, pulling an ancient coffin and moving forward in the starry sky world. Many people want to explore it. Oh, there was such a thing? Who was the coffin carrier? Lin Feng could not help but ask. It's a very ancient existence, and its identity is a mystery. Some old antiques seem to have been alarmed. It is said that the coffin that mysterious person is pulling hides a huge secret. When the time comes, people will discuss this matter, and perhaps we can obtain some information. Dongfang Tuahai said. Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat. He thought of the mysterious coffin carrier he had seen in the ice plains above the Tianwu continent. Coffin carrier in the ice plains. Even after experiencing the passage of time, it would not stop to rest. The coffin carrier's clothes were ragged. It was difficult to walk. In the world of ice and snow, it was barefoot. It was difficult to walk forward step by step. Lin Feng remembered that the mysterious coffin carrier seemed to be related to the fairy in Macho's cave. That peerless fairy had waited for her lover to return, silently guarded, until her youth was gone. Her fairy face had aged. She could not wait for her lover to return. It was filled with endless nostalgia, sadness, and longing. That fairy had left the world. Later, Lin Feng encountered danger in the ice plains. He activated the bronze artifact, but it was difficult to resist. The mysterious coffin carrier woke up from his muddle-headedness. It helped Lin Feng resolve the danger. Everything that had happened in the past was still vivid in Lin Feng's mind. Now, a mysterious coffin carrier had appeared in the starry sky world. He did not know why. Lin Feng would instantly think of the mysterious coffin carrier in the ice plains world. Okay, let's go and take a look. Lin Feng said. Brother Lin, please follow me. Dongfang Tuahai said. He led the way in front, while Lin Feng and Yu Simon followed behind Dongfang Tuahai. Finally, everyone arrived at the villa where Dongfang Tuahai lived. There were rockery and strange stones, small bridges and flowing water, luxuriant grass, and hundreds of flowers in full bloom. It was very beautiful. Dongfang Tuahai was a person who knew how to enjoy the heat. Soon, Lin Feng and the others arrived at the hall. In the hall, there were already 30 to 40 young cultivators sitting. There were men and women, and these people were all extraordinary. Dongfang Tuahai brought Lin Feng and Yu Simon here. Hey, isn't this Yu Simon? I heard that her father was killed and suppressed by an expert from an unknown force. Now, he is already in dire straits. Isn't there a saying that a fallen phoenix is worse than a chicken? Does Yu Simon even have the qualifications to participate in this gathering? Someone immediately mocked. The Yu family and the Dongfang family have been friends for generations. It's normal for Dongfang Tuahai to invite Yu Simon here. Then someone said. Dongfang Tuahai invited Lin Feng and Yu Simon to sit in the first seat on the left. This was the most honorable seat. This made many people frown. They did not know what Dongfang Tuahai meant. What qualifications did Yu Simon have to sit in that seat? Not to mention now, even when Supreme Venerable of Myriad Stars was still alive, Simon was not qualified to sit in that seat. Many people thought that Simon was qualified to sit there because of Lin Feng. However, when everyone sensed that Lin Feng was a cultivator who had not even broken through to the Emperor realm, they could not help but show contempt. Brother Dongfang seems to have arranged the wrong seat. The first seat on the left. Not everyone is qualified to sit there, Zhang Yufeng said with a fake smile. Obviously, he was targeting Lin Feng and Simon. Dongfang Tuahai replied indifferently, Brother Zhang, you don't have to worry about that. Brother Lin and Sister Simon are qualified to sit there. Chapter 3507. Zhang Yufeng was extremely insidious. He pushed Lin Feng in front of everyone and made everyone hostile to Lin Feng. In fact, if Zhang Yufeng didn't point out Lin Feng and Simon's seats, even if the others were a little dissatisfied, they were just guests after all, and the host could do whatever he wanted. No one else could control it, right? However, Zhang Yufeng pointed out Lin Feng's seat as an insult to everyone. At this time, many people couldn't help but look at Lin Feng. They were all affected by Zhang Yufeng. Humph! Zhang Yufeng, don't sow discord. Everyone is my friend, and there is no distinction between high and low. As for where you sit, it doesn't matter. You're not looking down on everyone as you said. If you continue to sow discord, then don't blame me for not giving you face. Dongfang Tuahai couldn't help but say coldly. Although Zhang Yufeng was from the infinite world and his ancestors were also experts at the Holy Emperor level, the infinite world was extremely far away from here. Their sphere of influence couldn't reach the lone wolf star zone. Therefore, Dongfang Tuahai naturally wouldn't be afraid of Zhang Yufeng. Moreover, Dongfang Tuahai already knew Lin Feng's identity. How could a mere Zhang Yufeng be compared with Lin Feng? The difference was like heaven and earth. Seeing that Dongfang Tuahai actually fell out with him for Lin Feng, Zhang Yufeng's face became more and more unsightly. The rest of the people looked like they were watching a show. This made Zhang Yufeng feel humiliated. Not only did Zhang Yufeng hate Lin Feng and Simon, but he also hated Dongfang Tuahai. Zhang Yufeng said with a fake smile, Brother Dongfang, there's no need to be angry. It was a slip of the tongue just now. Then, Zhang Yufeng sat down. He didn't continue to talk about this matter. Although Zhang Yufeng was extremely arrogant, he still had some tricks up his sleeve. He also knew that this was Dongfang Tuahai's territory. As a foreign cultivator, he naturally couldn't offend Dongfang Tuahai here. It wouldn't do him any good. After Zhang Yufeng sat down, the rest of the people didn't mention anything about their seats. Cultivators had always been rather open-minded. They would usually laugh over such trivial matters. Only someone like Zhang Yufeng, who harbored evil intentions, would talk about such a trivial matter. Brother Dongfang, you must have seen those treasures, right? I wonder if Brother Dongfang can give us some specific information? Suddenly, a cultivator said. Many people looked at Zhang Yufeng. That ancient city in the starry sky was incomparably mysterious. There were many treasures that were passed down, which made people's hearts palpitate. He was targeted by many forces. The auction house in Lone Wolf City was the property of the Dongfang family. Since many treasures were stored in the auction house for trading, Dongfang Tuahai naturally had the opportunity to see those treasures. I can't say too much. After all, we need to maintain a sense of mystery before the trade fair. However, there are some things that I can tell you. Please prepare all kinds of treasures. The things that have spread out from that ancient starry sky city are very amazing. Many of those things will definitely make you excited. Of course, whether you can obtain those things will depend on your own means. That's right. I'm not sure whether you can obtain those things. Dongfang Tuahai couldn't help but say. Even though they didn't get any specific information from Dongfang Tuahai, they did get some definite answers. Everyone became even more excited about this small-scale trade fair. Dongfang Tuahai looked at a female cultivator in a red dress. This female cultivator in a red dress had a graceful figure. Her face was beautiful, and her temperament was charming. Dongfang Tuahai smiled and said, Fairy Hongyun, I heard that you personally witnessed a mysterious person carrying a coffin across the starry sky world. Many people had heard of this incident. Therefore, when Dongfang Tuahai mentioned it, many people's eyes lit up. Many people were extremely curious about this incident. It was just that they didn't have the opportunity to know the ins and outs of this incident. Clearly, Fairy Hongyun had gotten hold of the entire story. Perhaps he might be able to obtain some information from Fairy Hongya. Back then, I followed the elders of the family and passed through the starry sky world. I saw the scene that Brother Dongfang described, a mysterious person carrying a coffin across the starry sky. The starry sky shook. It was an ancient stone coffin. It was surrounded by endless mysteries and emitted an ancient aura. It was definitely extraordinary, Fairy Hongyun said. Could it be that the cosmic coffin carriers have reappeared in this world? Someone said with a solemn expression, Cosmic coffin carriers? What kind of story is that? Lin Feng asked. This was the first time he had heard of such a term. Many people looked at the cultivator who spoke. Everyone was extremely curious about the term cosmic coffin carriers. That cultivator said, Legend has it that after the beginning of an era, some unimaginably terrifying existences would be born. These existences would stand at the pinnacle of the great Tao, just like Hongming, Taoist Luya, and a few other terrifying existences in our era. After these existences fall, they would be buried in stone coffins. They would then be pulled by the cosmic coffin carriers to travel across the starry sky. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. Some even found it hard to believe. If that was really the case, then the existences buried in the stone coffins were way too terrifying. Who buried these terrifying existences in the stone coffins? Are the cosmic coffin carriers cursed? If the cosmic coffin carriers were to pull the stone coffins across the starry sky, where would they end up? Lin Feng asked. That cultivator shook his head. He did not know either. He did not know much about the cosmic coffin carriers either. He had only read about it from a Tao scripture. Many top sects have wanted to head to that starry sky to explore. Fairy Hongyun said, Where is that starry sky? Lin Feng asked. Fairy Hongyun looked at Lin Feng. Given Lin Feng's low cultivation, there was no need for him to ask about that starry sky. He would only be courting death if he went. However, Fairy Hongyun did not reject Lin Feng's question. She said, That starry sky is called the Chaos God's starry sky. It's located in the northwest of the Lone Wolf starry sky. Chaos God's starry sky? Is there anything special about it? Lin Feng asked curiously. Of course. It's said that there's a terrifying energy lingering around that place. Many powerful beings who entered that place eventually lost their minds and their sense of self. Fairy Hongyun said. Lin Feng was shocked. This Chaos God's starry sky seemed to be extraordinary as well. There were many secrets hidden within it. We have to wait for those top experts to make a move before we can attempt to enter that starry sky. Chapter 3508. Exploring that ancient star field was naturally not an easy task. One needed to be careful. Otherwise, it was very likely that one would die there. After the gathering was over, everyone got up and walked outside. What? You're also investigating the Chaos God star field. Could it be that you also want to enter and explore it? It's really true that the ignorant are fearless. Zhang Yufeng looked at Lin Feng and couldn't help but mock. Many people revealed a faint smile. Obviously, Zhang Yufeng was hostile to Lin Feng in his heart. He was deliberately targeting Lin Feng and wanted to humiliate Lin Feng. Some people had also heard that Zhang Yufeng had failed to pursue Yu Simon in the past. Now that Yu Simon was close to Lin Feng, it was normal for Zhang Yufeng to be envious and jealous. Because Zhang Yufeng had never been a magnanimous person, and Lin Feng was targeted by Zhang Yufeng. It was Lin Feng's bad luck. Zhang Yufeng, don't go too far. Yu Simon said coldly. Too far? How am I going too far? I'm just telling the truth. Zhang Yufeng said with an indifferent expression. The more Yu Simon protected Lin Feng, the more jealous Zhang Yufeng was of Lin Feng. He really wanted to humiliate Lin Feng in front of Yu Siman. He really wanted to humiliate Lin Feng in front of her. Dongfang Tuahai knew how terrifying Lin Feng was. If Lin Feng made a move, killing Zhang Yufeng would be too easy. Dongfang Tuahai didn't care about Zhang Yufeng's life or death. But there was one thing. Zhang Yufeng couldn't die in their Dongfang clan, because this might make their Dongfang clan an enemy of the infinite world. Zhang Yufeng, Don't make a mistake, Dongfang Tuahai said coldly. Many people looked at Dongfang Tuahai in confusion. No one understood why Dongfang Tuahai would protect Lin Feng, a human cultivator with a weak cultivation. Moreover, he even told Zhang Yufeng not to make a mistake. This was obviously a warning to Zhang Yufeng. He did not give Zhang Yufeng any face at all. For a mere Lin Feng, he had offended Zhang Yufeng. Was it worth it? At this time, everyone realized that they didn't even know Lin Feng's name or which force he came from. Brother Dongfang, what do you mean? Does Brother Dongfang think you can keep me here? Zhang Yufeng looked at Dongfang Tuahai indifferently. He felt that Dongfang Tuahai was protecting Lin Feng and deliberately making things difficult for him. Dongfang Tuahai said calmly, I'm doing this for your own good. There are some people you can't afford to offend. If Brother Zhang is smart, you should understand what I mean. Zhang Yufeng sneered and said, Who are you saying that I can't afford to offend? Are you Dongfang Tuahai? Or you Simon, whose family had been destroyed? Or is it this brat who hasn't even entered the great emperor realm? Dongfang Tuahai frowned. He cursed Zhang Yufeng in his heart. This person was really arrogant. In the Dongfang family, he dared to refute his master again and again. He really didn't give him any face. Dongfang Tuahai said coldly, Leave at once. Our Dongfang family doesn't welcome you. It seems that Brother Dongfang is willing to fall out with me because of this brat? He's just a human cultivator, a lowly race. Is he worthy of being treated like this by Brother Dongfang? Brother Dongfang is really stupid. If Lord Lone Wolf comes out of seclusion and learns about this, I wonder what he'll think? Zhang Yufeng continued to sneer. Dongfang Tuahai was speechless. At this moment, he saw Lin Feng frowning and stopped talking. Zhang Yufeng had obviously provoked Lin Feng's displeasure. In Dongfang Tuahai's opinion, Zhang Yufeng was arrogant and ignorant. Of course, the most important thing was that Zhang Yufeng's cultivation had not reached the level where he could look down on other sky prides. Yet, he was so arrogant. Wasn't he digging his own grave? Yu Simon said coldly, Zhang Yufeng, you'd better watch your mouth. What? Is your heart aching because of that pretty boy? Zhang Yufeng looked at Yu Simon with a mocking gaze. Yu Simon was so angry that her pretty face turned ashen. Just as she was about to say something, Lin Feng patted Yu Simon's shoulder. Yu Simon understood tacitly and did not say anything else. Lin Feng looked at Zhang Yufeng and said indifferently, I didn't argue with you before, not because I was afraid of you, but because I disdained you. However, you have just insulted the human race, which has crossed my bottom line. This is the Dongfang clan, and I'm a guest of the Dongfang clan. So it's not appropriate for me to kill people in the Dongfang clan. You should feel very lucky about this. Now, cripple one of your arms, and I'll let you go. Is this brat crazy? After hearing Lin Feng's words, many people could not help but be shocked. Lin Feng, a cultivator in the quasi-emperor realm, actually dared to say such words to Zhang Yufeng, an immortal emperor realm cultivator. Many people felt that Lin Feng was simply trying to kill Zhang Yufeng. Now, even Dongfang Tuahai would not be able to protect Lin Feng. The only people present who had confidence in Lin Feng were Yu Simon and Dongfang Tuahai. They knew Lin Feng's identity. They also knew how terrifying Lin Feng was. Wouldn't it be easy to deal with Zhang Yufeng? Brat, who do you think you are? How dare you say such words to me? Go to hell. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhang Yufeng directly stepped towards Lin Feng, wanting to attack Lin Feng. However, at this moment, an extremely terrifying aura was emitted from Lin Feng's body. The moment that aura was released, the surrounding sky prides felt as though they had turned into mere ants in an instant. Lin Feng was like a god, sacred and inviolable. Oh my god, how is this possible? The aura in this person's body is too terrifying. Many people exclaimed. The aura emitted from Lin Feng's body was too terrifying. Everyone felt a suffocating pressure. Get down on your knees. Lin Feng looked at Zhang Yufeng indifferently. When his voice died down, that terrifying aura directly enveloped Zhang Yufeng's body. Zhang Yufeng suddenly discovered in shock. His body was unable to move. Moreover, Zhang Yufeng felt that the aura emitted from Lin Feng's body was getting stronger and stronger. It was getting harder and harder for him to resist. Zhang Yufeng's legs trembled violently. He struggled hard, but it was difficult to resist the terrifying aura emitted from Lin Feng's body. Everyone saw that. Bearing the oppression of Lin Feng's aura, Zhang Yufeng's legs trembled violently. Then, with a plop, Zhang Yufeng directly knelt on the ground. No, this is absolutely impossible. Zhang Yufeng could not help but roar, his entire face distorted. He could not accept all this at all. Previously, he had all kinds of contempt and disdain for Lin Feng. Now, he was actually forced to kneel on the ground by the aura emitted from Lin Feng's body. This extreme contrast. Chapter 3509. Get lost. Lin Feng waved his right hand, and Zhang Yufeng was instantly swept away. Barf. Zhang Yufeng spat out a mouthful of blood. He was injured by Lin Feng, and his face was as pale as a sheet. Lin Feng looked at Zhang Yufeng indifferently and said, "Don't let me see you again, because you won't be so lucky next time." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng walked outside. Yu Simon and Dongfang Tuahai followed Lin Feng and walked outside. The rest of the people started to talk about it. Lin Feng's cultivation was really terrifying. It was simply shocking. Many people were discussing Lin Feng's identity, trying to find out Lin Feng's identity. However, everyone was confused. Lin Feng's identity was really too mysterious. No one knew where Lin Feng came from. However, many people thought that Dongfang Tuahai might know Lin Feng's identity. Otherwise, Dongfang Tuahai wouldn't have warned Zhang Yufeng not to provoke Lin Feng. Now everyone knew that Dongfang Tuahai's warning to Zhang Yufeng was not to protect Lin Feng. It was for Zhang Yufeng's own good. It was just that Zhang Yufeng misunderstood Dongfang Tuahai. Now, there were already people who planned to ask Dongfang Tuahai about Lin Feng's specific identity later. As for whether Dongfang Tuahai would tell them, these cultivators were not sure. 3 days later, the small-scale trade fair officially began. There were not many cultivators who could participate in this small-scale trade fair. Either they were from a big family, or they were experts whose names could shake a region. Those who were able to participate in this small-scale trade fair were all people of status and status. Lin Feng and Yu Simon followed Dongfang Tuahai to the small-scale trade fair. After they arrived, many people pointed at Lin Feng and whispered to each other, discussing Lin Feng. Obviously, the news that Lin Feng injured Zhang Yufeng with only his powerful aura had spread out, and it attracted a lot of attention and discussion. Now, one of the main characters of the story, Lin Feng, had appeared. Everyone was naturally curious about Lin Feng's identity. "Brat, who are you?" Suddenly, a middle-aged cultivator arrived at Lin Feng's residence. There was an indifferent look on his face as he regarded Lin Feng. His eyes flickered with a sinister light. "And who are you?" Lin Feng replied indifferently. "Zhang Qiongtian, people from the limitless world." The middle-aged cultivator said coldly. This was an imperial emperor-level expert, so he had a high and mighty appearance. This level of cultivation was already considered a powerhouse in the emperor realm. Overlords of the universe usually referred to experts at the imperial emperor realm. Therefore, those who had cultivated to the imperial emperor realm were considered big shots by countless cultivators. "Are you here for Zhang Yufeng?" Lin Feng looked at Zhang Qiongtian indifferently. Zhang Qiongtian's cultivation was indeed powerful, but it was not worth mentioning in front of Lin Feng. "Since you know that I'm here for Zhang Yufeng, you should know the consequences of your actions." Zhang Qiongtian looked at Lin Feng condescendingly, and his eyes flickered with killing intent. After hearing Zhang Qiongtian's words, many cultivators who were watching the show could not help but smile. After all, this conflict had nothing to do with them. Therefore, the more intense this conflict was, the better. At this moment, Dongfang Tuahai said, "Senior, this is the place where the trade fair is held, not a place to settle personal grudges. If you want to settle personal grudges, you should find another place, not our Dongfang clan's auction house." Dongfang Tuahai spoke before Lin Feng could, so he naturally did not want to make a big deal out of it. Because once the matter was blown out of proportion, it would not benefit the Dongfang clan at all. That was the point. Lin Feng also understood. It was also because he understood Dongfang Tuahai's difficulties that Lin Feng did not say much after hearing Dongfang Tuahai's words. After all, He still had to discuss with Dongfang Tuahai's father about rescuing Yu Simon's father in the future. Therefore, he still had to give some face to the Dongfang clan. However, Zhang Qiongtian obviously did not understand Dongfang Tuahai's good intentions. He did not give any face to Dongfang Tuahai. After hearing Dongfang Tuahai's words, Zhang Qiongtian sneered and said, "You're just a junior of the Dongfang clan. How dare you say such rude words to me? If it weren't for the sake of your Dongfang clan's elders, I would have slapped you in the face for daring to say such rude words to me just now." There was naturally a reason why Zhang Qiongtian dared to act so high and mighty in the Dongfang clan's territory. First, he was an Emperor realm expert. No force was willing to offend an expert of this level. Second, Zhang Qiongtian had the infinite world as his backer, so he naturally had no scruples. Lin Feng could not help but shake his head slightly. Zhang Qiongtian simply did not know how to appreciate kindness. Dongfang Tuahai was helping him. Instead, he thought that Dongfang Tuahai was protecting him. And he did not give face to Dongfang Tuahai. Even if Dongfang Tuahai was a junior, he was also a cultivator at the peak of the immortal Emperor realm. Dongfang Tuahai's talent was very powerful, and he was only one step away from breaking through to the Emperor realm. Dongfang Tuahai was naturally a person who cared about his reputation. Zhang Qiongtian did not give face to Dongfang Tuahai. Now, Dongfang Tuahai also threw caution to the wind and no longer cared about Zhang Qiongtian. Zhang Qiongtian could do whatever he wanted. Anyway, Zhang Qiongtian would definitely not have a good ending after offending Lin Feng. Seeing that Dongfang Tuahai no longer intervened in this matter, Zhang Qiongtian's face suddenly showed a smug expression. Zhang Qiongtian thought that Dongfang Tuahai was afraid of him, so he did not continue to intervene in this matter. Zhang Qiongtian looked at Lin Feng arrogantly and said with an indifferent expression, "Those who offend our infinite world will not have a good ending, and you are no exception. However, we still have to give face to the Dongfang clan today. How about this? Cripple your own Dantian, and I will spare your life today." When a cultivator crippled his own Dantian, he would completely become a cripple. For a cultivator who was once powerful, this was simply more uncomfortable than killing them. I wonder what that kid will choose. He probably won't submit. He will probably resist. Many cultivators could not help but whisper to each other. Almost no one was willing to cripple their own Dantian. Therefore, many cultivators felt that Lin Feng would definitely resist. However, Zhang Qiongtian's cultivation was very powerful. If Lin Feng resisted, he would probably die in the end. A clown actually dares to run in front of me. How ridiculous. I will say the same to you. Cripple your own Dantian now, and I will spare your life. Chapter 35:10. This kid is too arrogant. I don't think he'll have a good ending if he offends an Emperor realm expert like this. Some cultivators immediately said. They didn't understand why Lin Feng would offend an Emperor realm expert without any scruples. One had to know that an expert of this level was a high and mighty existence. Offending such an existence would definitely be extremely miserable. Then, another cultivator said, "Actually, I don't think so. That kid might have some hidden methods, so he's not afraid of Zhang Qiongtian." This point of view was agreed by many cultivators. After all, cultivators with high realms were often knowledgeable. Which one of them wasn't extremely intelligent? No one would believe that he was completely brainless and arrogant. Therefore, some people felt that there was a reason for Lin Feng's arrogance. "Kid, I'd like to see what kind of ability you have to dare to boast so shamelessly in front of me." Zhang Qiongtian looked coldly at Lin Feng, his eyes flashing with killing intent. Boom! A terrifying aura spread out from Zhang Qiongtian's body, directly suppressing Lin Feng. Zhang Qiongtian wanted to use his aura to intimidate Lin Feng. The aura of an Emperor realm expert was extremely terrifying, causing many people's expressions to change. However, everyone soon realized that Lin Feng, who was enveloped by Zhang Qiongtian's aura, was completely fine. He wasn't affected at all. Look, Zhang Qiongtian's aura is so powerful, but that kid is completely fine. I already said that kid is not simple. How is it? I was right, wasn't I? A cultivator couldn't help but say. At this moment, Zhang Qiongtian's eyes were extremely gloomy and ugly. He was a cultivator of the 7th Imperial Emperor layer, and his chi was enough to oppress Lin Feng, a young cultivator. Lin Feng was completely fine. This made Zhang Qiongtian feel extremely humiliated. Kid, take this. Zhang Qiongtian leaped up and rushed towards Lin Feng. Then, he sent a palm strike towards Lin Feng. The powerful force shook the void. It was as if it could shatter the void. Strong. He was simply too strong. Zhang Qiongtian was indeed worthy of being a sovereign emperor. His attack was truly terrifying. Many people couldn't help but gasp. They originally thought that Lin Feng had some special methods hidden on him. At this moment, they also changed their minds. Zhang Qiongtian's attack was simply too powerful. It was simply too despairing. Even if Lin Feng had some special methods hidden, he was probably not Zhang Qiongtian's opponent. Zhang Qiongtian's punch was about to reach Lin Feng, but at that moment, Lin Feng moved. Lin Feng's punch. That punch didn't seem to have much power. However, when Lin Feng and Zhang Qiongtian's. However, Zhang Qiongtian's body seemed to be out of his control as he quickly flew backwards. SSS. Zhang Qiongtian's face turned as pale as paper. S. After seeing this scene, the entire hall became silent. Shock. Everyone's face couldn't help but reveal a deeply shocked expression. They simply couldn't believe what they had just seen. Lin Feng's combat strength was simply too terrifying. Zhang Qiongtian's attack was actually broken by Lin Feng in an instant, and he was even injured by Lin Feng. It was really hard to imagine how terrifying Lin Feng's cultivation was. This is impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Zhang Qiongtian couldn't accept all this at all, so he roared. Lin Feng stepped towards Zhang Qiongtian and said indifferently, I gave you face, but you didn't want it. An ant like you doesn't even have the qualifications to die in my hands. I won't kill you today because killing you would only dirty my own hands. Today, I will cripple your dantian and make you live in endless pain for the rest of your life. After saying that, Lin Feng sent a palm strike towards Zhang Qiongtian. Lin Feng's words were too arrogant and pretentious. However, everyone didn't think that Lin Feng was arrogant, nor did they think that Lin Feng was acting pretentious, because Lin Feng's cultivation was strong enough. No matter what someone with a strong enough cultivation said, others would take it for granted. Lin Feng was like an immortal god, exuding the aura of a ruler. After sensing Lin Feng's aura, everyone's face couldn't help but reveal a deeply shocked expression. The aura emitted from Lin Feng's body was simply too powerful and terrifying. It made every cultivator present feel as if they were facing an ancient god. There were even a few emperor-level experts present. Now, those emperor-level experts also felt a deep pressure from Lin Feng's body. They were incomparably shocked. Why was that young cultivator so terrifying? They couldn't figure this out because Lin Feng was really too young. So young, even if he cultivated in his mother's womb, he shouldn't be so strong, right? I'll fight it out with you. Zhang Qiongtian's face contorted, and a destructive force surged from his body. Zhang Qiongtian used a divine ability called Nine Heavens World Destruction Palm. Bang! Lin Feng and Zhang Qiongtian clashed. Crack crack. Zhang Qiongtian's divine ability was instantly broken, and his arms were directly broken. Many of Zhang Qiongtian's bones were also broken. His body flew backward. While still in midair, Lin Feng's right hand gently slashed across the void. Swoosh! A dazzling sword chi suddenly flew out, and that sword chi instantly pierced through Zhang Qiongtian's dantian. Ah! Zhang Qiongtian let out an incomparably shrill scream. His dantian was destroyed by Lin Feng. With a plop, Zhang Qiongtian fell to the ground. My dantian! My dantian! Little bastard! You actually destroyed my dantian. Our infinite world won't let you go. Zhang Qiongtian roared with hatred. The infinite world doesn't have the ability to kill me, but your dantian has been destroyed, and from now on, your status will fall from the clouds to the bottom of the valley. Perhaps even your family will give up on you? After all, no major force would be willing to raise a piece of trash. Lin Feng said coldly, killing the heart. Lin Feng's words directly stabbed the deepest fear in Zhang Qiongtian's heart. Therefore, After hearing Lin Feng's words, Zhang Qiongtian's eyes were filled with endless fear and despair. No, I can't accept this. I can't accept this. Zhang Qiongtian roared. Then, anger attacked his heart. Buffed, Zhang Qiongtian spat out a mouthful of blood. His body directly collapsed to the ground, and all the bones in his body seemed to have fallen apart. Chapter 35:11. Toss him out, Dongfang Tuahai ordered. Yes, young master. Immediately, 2 guards from the auction house stepped forward and carried the paralyzed Zhang Qiongtian out. The hall quieted down. Lin Feng and Yu Simon found a place to sit down. Everyone was observing Lin Feng and whispering to each other, discussing Lin Feng's identity. He was so young, but he was so powerful. The starry sky world was vast and boundless. Therefore, there would always be some heaven-defying monsters. Some people thought that Lin Feng was such a monster. Many people arrived one after another. In the end, there were about 200 people in the hall. At this time, an old man walked in. He had the demeanor of a transcendent being and a powerful aura. He was an emperor-level expert. The old man's name was Dongfang Yang. He was the president of the auction house and the great elder of the Dongfang family. It was said that even the lone wolf supreme emperor had to call him uncle. It was obvious how high his status in the Dongfang family was. Thank you for coming to this trade fair. This trade fair is very rare, so I won't beat around the bush. Let's get straight to the point. This time, a total of 7 cultivators took out 12 treasures and asked our auction house to help deal with these treasures. These 12 treasures were passed down from the ancient starry sky city some time ago, so they are extremely precious, Dongfang Yang said with a smile. Many people's interest was piqued. Someone said, then let's start the trade fair quickly. Okay, bring out the first item, Dongfang Yang said. Following that, a maidservant walked out with a tray and brought out the first item to be traded. It was a white jade box. No one knew what was inside for the time being. Dongfang Yang opened the white jade box. Suddenly, the thing inside appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The thing inside was actually a small section of a root. What is this? Many people asked curiously. The immortal root of the ancient tree of enlightenment. Dongfang Yang said. What? The immortal root of the ancient tree of enlightenment? Immediately, many cultivators stood up from their seats. Then they exclaimed. Immortal spiritual items were very rare. Some immortal herbs, immortal fruits, and so on were extremely rare spiritual items. In addition, they needed to grow for more than 1,000,000 years to transform into immortal spiritual items. Therefore, immortal spiritual items were incomparably precious. However, the most precious immortal spiritual items often had the word immortal in front. For example, the immortal herb and the immortal tree of immortal were born during the birth of an era, were extremely rare. These immortal spiritual items of immortal spiritual items had unimaginable miraculous effects, and their lifespan was endless. Ordinary immortal herbs, and other immortal spiritual items had limited lifespans. It was already extremely difficult for them to live for more than 1,000,000 years. If they wanted to live longer, it would be even more difficult. At any time, they could be destroyed by the heavenly Tao. However, the immortal herbs, immortal grasses, and immortal trees of immortality could at least live from the beginning of an epoch to the end. If he was lucky, who knows, they might even be able to live to the next epoch. This was not unheard of. The Enlightenment Ancient Tea Tree was a famous, undying immortal tree. The Enlightenment Ancient Tea Tree was powerful in that it could allow one to comprehend the great Tao. It was said, some people had been stuck in a certain realm for many years. If they used the Enlightenment Ancient Tea leaves to make tea, they would be able to break through. If they drank the tea, they would quickly gain enlightenment and break through their cultivation. In the past, there were peak emperor-level experts who used this method. In the end, they successfully broke through the shackles of the emperor realm and broke through to a higher realm. The Enlightenment Ancient Tea Tree has disappeared for many years. No one knows where it is. Some say that it has undergone nirvana and is waiting for a chance to be reborn. If this root in my hand can be used to cultivate a sapling of the Enlightenment Ancient Tea Tree, then maybe a new enlightenment ancient tea tree will be born. Dongfang Yang said. Many people were tempted. Some branches even announced that such a treasure was too precious. It was enough to make people want to obtain it at any cost. Lin Feng shook his head slightly. Between heaven and earth, two different immortal herbs, and immortal trees were not allowed to exist at the same time. The ancient tree of enlightenment had not undergone nirvana. It was just that it was now in the great world of exile. The starry sky surrounding the great world of exile was dark. There was a powerful magnetic field shrouding it. Basically, no one could enter it. The ancient tree of enlightenment was in the death zone of the great world of exile. People in the outside world naturally did not know about it. That was why they thought it had undergone nirvana. Since the enlightenment ancient tea tree was still alive and well, this small section of the enlightenment ancient tea tree's roots naturally couldn't grow into a new enlightenment ancient tea tree. Of course, Lin Feng would not say this out loud. That would offend many people. How do we trade? Someone asked impatiently. The other party needs all kinds of immortal herbs and immortal herbs. The highest bidder wins. Dongfang Yang said. Immortal herbs and immortal herbs were too precious. Even a big force might not be able to take out many of them. However, in order to get the root of the ancient tree of enlightenment, these big forces went all out. After a fierce competition, in the end, the root of the ancient tree of enlightenment was sold at the price of 64 immortal herbs. Bring up the second item, Dongfang Yang continued. A beautiful maidservant brought up the second precious treasure. It was a porcelain bottle. Dongfang Yang said, there is a pill in the bottle. This pill is called the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill. Have any of you heard of this pill before? Heavens, the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill? Such a pill actually exists? At this moment, the Demon Lord's shocked voice resounded in Lin Feng's mind. The Demon Lord was very knowledgeable. There were very few treasures that could move the Demon Lord like this. However, this 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill could actually make the Demon Lord so excited. Lin Feng was very surprised. Clearly, the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill must have some heaven-defying effect. Otherwise, the Demon Lord would lose his composure. Lin Feng could not help but ask, Demon Lord, what does the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill do? The Demon Lord said, it is said that the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill can bring someone back from the dead. What? Bring someone back from the dead? That's impossible, right? Even immortal herbs of immortality can only bring someone back to life. They can't bring someone back to life. Can the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill do that? Lin Feng said in shock. Chapter 35:12. That's right. The 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill can bring the dead back to life, but it's only a legend. After all, I've never seen such a pill before. The Demon Lord said, some things don't come out of nowhere. Since it's rumored that the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill can bring the dead back to life, maybe it really has such a miraculous effect? Lin Feng couldn't help but say. The 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill piqued his interest. Lin Feng planned to bid for the pill. Of course, there would be many people competing for it later. Lin Feng wasn't sure if he could successfully bid for the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill. He needed to see what the other party wanted. If Lin Feng didn't have what the other party wanted, then he was destined to miss out on the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill. What's the effect of the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill? Someone couldn't help but ask. They had never heard of the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill. Dongfang Yang said, it's said that this pill can bring the dead back to life. Bring the dead back to life? No way. There's such a pill? I heard that even the most mysterious immortal medicine of immortality can't bring the dead back to life. It can only make a cultivator younger or bring the dead back to life. Could this 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill be more powerful than the immortal medicine of immortality? After the crash, a cultivator said, doubting the true effects of this medicinal pill. Bringing the dead back to life meant bringing the dead back to life. However, as everyone knew, there was no method to bring the dead back to life in the world of cultivators. Therefore, everyone found it hard to believe the effects of the 9 Revolution Soul Return Pill. This is a legendary elixir. I don't know if it really has the effect of bringing the dead back to life for the time being. It's impossible to test this elixir. This elixir needs to be exchanged for 3 elixirs of the immortal level, Dongfang Yang said. The cultivator who took out the 9 Revolutions Soul Return elixir probably didn't believe in the effects of the 9 Revolutions Soul Return elixir, so he took it out to exchange. If they believed in the effects of the 9 Revolutions Soul Return pill, they definitely wouldn't take it out to exchange for it. The value of the 3 immortal pills was naturally extremely high, mainly because immortal pills were simply too rare. However, Lin Feng had collected more than a dozen celestial pills over the past few years. He had never used any of them before, and now he could take them out to exchange. I want this 9 Revolution Soul Return pill. While the others were still frowning and pondering, Lin Feng spoke. He took out 3 porcelain bottles containing immortal elixirs and handed them to Dongfang Yang. Dongfang Yang checked it carefully and found that there was nothing wrong with it. Then, he gave the bottle to Lin Feng. The others did not participate in the competition. They probably did not believe in the effects of the 9 Revolution Soul Return elixir. Swallow the 9 Revolution Soul Return pill later and refine it, the Demon Lord said telepathically. Lin Feng said, swallow it? Wouldn't that be a complete waste of the pill? The Demon Lord said, no. The 9 Revolution Soul Return elixir is rather special. It is said that you need to swallow this elixir in advance when there is nothing wrong with your body. Then, the energy of this elixir will be stored in your body. When death comes, the 9 Revolution Soul Return elixir stored in your body will take effect. This, Lin Feng laughed bitterly. Everyone knew that once a pill was swallowed, its energy would be quickly absorbed by the body. It could not be stored. However, the Demon Lord said that the 9 Revolution Soul Return elixir had to be swallowed, refined, and stored. Why did Lin Feng feel that he would lose everything by buying the 9 Revolution Soul Return elixir this time? However, Lin Feng had always believed the Demon Lord's words. Since the Demon Lord said that he had to swallow the 9 Revolution Soul Return elixir, then he would swallow it. Of course, now was not the time to swallow the 9 Revolution Soul Return elixir. After all, this was not the place to swallow and refine it. Lin Feng temporarily put the porcelain bottle with the 9 Revolution Soul Return elixir into his mountain river ring. As for the trade fair, it continued. Precious treasures were taken out one after another. Many of them made Lin Feng's heart beat faster. However, Lin Feng did not have some of the treasures that the other party needed. Therefore, he could not participate in the trade fair. The cultivators who had the treasures that the other party needed started to fight fiercely. That ancient starry sky city is really extraordinary. There are so many treasures. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter. The treasures that appeared in the trade fair were only a part of the treasures. In fact, Lin Feng suspected that there was a heaven-defying treasure in that ancient starry sky city that had been taken away by others. However, no one would take out such a treasure for trade. That ancient starry sky city was very attractive. Unfortunately, there was no chance to explore it now. Next, the 10th treasure will be taken out, Dongfang Yang said. A servant girl walked up with a tray. There was a stone sword on the tray. Previously, there was a rumor that a mysterious stone sword would appear in this trade fair. And that mysterious stone sword was very likely to be one of the legendary 36 stone swords. However, when Lin Feng saw the stone sword that was taken out, he immediately showed a disappointed expression. The stone sword that was taken out now was not one of the 36 stone swords. Of course, the stone sword that was taken out now was also extremely extraordinary. But unfortunately, no matter how extraordinary the stone sword was, as long as it was not one of the 36 stone swords, it would be less attractive to Lin Feng. What Lin Feng needed were the 36 stone swords, not the other stone swords. He had only collected 3. Di Wudao, on the other hand, had 9. Of the 36 stone swords, 12 already had owners. The remaining 24 stone swords had no owners. However, the whereabouts of the 24 stone swords were a mystery. This stone sword is called the Green Mountain Sword. It was nurtured from the Green Mountain Stone at the beginning of time. Dongfang Yang explained, the various stone tools nurtured from the Green Mountain Stone are very powerful and have amazing attack power. This stone sword is definitely a treasure, a giant soldier god level treasure. It can be broken into pieces with just one strike. As Dongfang Yang spoke, he took out a giant soldier god. Then, he held the stone sword in his hand and slashed at the giant soldier god level stone sword. There was a puff. There was a tearing sound, and the giant soldier god was directly torn in half by the stone sword. Oh my god, the power of this stone sword is so terrifying. Many people could not help but exclaim. Originally, many people had guessed that the stone sword that appeared in the trade fair was one of the 36 stone swords. However, when they found out that it was not, they felt as disappointed as Lin Feng. However, now that they had seen the power of this stone sword, everyone's eyes suddenly shone with a dazzling light. This stone sword is not only powerful, but it is also said to be related to the orthodoxy of a peerless expert. At this time, Dongfang Yang continued speaking and threw out a piece of important news, which immediately attracted everyone's attention. Lin Feng could not help but be very surprised. He did not expect this stone sword to be related to the orthodoxy of a peerless expert. Chapter 35:13. What's the name of this unparalleled expert? What's his background? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. He was very interested in this matter. That peerless cultivator's identity was very important to Lin Feng's heart. Dongfang Yang said, "This person is called Qing Shan Daoist. He's a Xiantian life form." Qing Shan Daoist? You said that the stone sword is called Qing Shan sword. Is there any special connection between the stone sword and Qing Shan Daoist? A cultivator asked. Dongfang Yang said, "You've hit the nail on the head. This Qing Shan Daoist's identity isn't ordinary. He was born together with the Qing Shan sword. Born together with the stone sword. Many people couldn't help but be shocked. This was too extraordinary. They couldn't believe it. A stone sword and a Xiantian being were unexpectedly born together. It looked like this Taoist priest of Green Mountain and this Green Mountain sword must have helped each other and grown together. There must have been a glorious history in the past. However, that was countless years ago. Countless years later, what happened in the past had become a mystery. Everyone, I'm sure all of you already know the value of the Sword of Green Mountain. I won't say more about the power of the Sword of Green Mountain, but the main point is that the inheritance of the Taoist priest of Green Mountain is too tempting. Dongfang Yang continued in a gentle and enticing manner. Many people couldn't help but look at him with fervent gazes. Many cultivation practitioners wanted to get their hands on the Sword of Green Mountain. What does he want in exchange? Lin Feng asked. 50 types of 3,000 great das, and an emperor weapon. Dongfang Yang said. This? Many people frowned. Many people frowned. The price of exchanging for the stone sword was too high. Many major forces could take out 50 types of 3,000 great das. However, it was very difficult for them to take out an emperor weapon to exchange for the stone sword, because emperor weapons were too rare. They were the most precious treasures of all major forces. Therefore, no one would take out an emperor weapon to exchange for the stone sword, unless the benefits of the exchange were much greater than the emperor weapon itself. As a stone artifact, the Qing Shan sword's value was no less than an emperor weapon. However, although it was powerful, after countless years, the method to control it had probably been lost. Perhaps the true power of the Qing Shan sword couldn't be unleashed. As for the legacy of Qing Shan Daoist, although it was very tempting, whether or not they could find it was another matter. Therefore, exchanging an emperor weapon for the Qing Shan sword. It was a huge risk. Not many cultivators dared to take this risk. The Qing Shan sword. "I want it," said someone at that moment. Everybody turned around and saw that it was Lin Feng. Lin Feng's with his finger. An emperor weapon lenses his hand. The emperor weapon. Lin Feng had killed many great emperors over the years, so he had obtained a few powerful great imperial weapons. Lin's emperor. Lin Tess. Emperor. Emperor. Tit was roughly equivalent to a monarch weapon of the god emperor level. These monarch weapons were also divided into different grades. Each grade of monarch weapon had a different level of power. The emperor weapon was only a beginner-level emperor weapon. Lin Feng didn't care about such a great imperial weapon, but to many cultivators, it was a precious treasure, even in their dreams. Apart from the Emperor weapon, Lin Feng also took out a jade tube. There were 50 types of 3,000 great Das imprinted in it. Senior Dongfang, you can take a look at these 50 types of 3,000 great Das. If there's no problem, let's make a deal. Lin Feng said. Dongfang Yang nodded and took the jade tube from Lin Feng. He checked it. Soon, a smile appeared on his face. There's no problem at all. The Qing Shan sword belongs to you. Dongfang Yang handed the Qing Shan sword to Lin Feng. This kid is really rich. He casually took out a monarch weapon and exchanged it with 50 types of 3,000 great Das without even blinking. I really wonder how many treasures he has to be able to ignore a monarch weapon and 50 types of 3,000 great Das. His identity is very mysterious. We still don't know who he is. However, he's so young and has such a powerful cultivation. He must have an extraordinary background. Apart from that, he must have great luck to be so powerful at such a young age. Since he has such great luck, it's normal for him to have many treasures on him. That's true. The only thing that's puzzling now is the origin of this young master. Lin Feng took out an emperor weapon and 50 types of 3,000 great Das to exchange for the Qing Shan sword. Immediately, many cultivators began to discuss spiritedly. Now, everyone was extremely curious about Lin Feng's identity. However, no one knew Lin Feng's background. As for Dongfang Tuahai, Yu Simon wouldn't tell him about Lin Feng's background. Next, we're going to trade the 11th item. Bring out the 11th treasure. Dongfang Yang said. A maidservant brought out the 11th supreme treasure. He didn't know what the 11th supreme treasure was, but it was covered by a piece of brocade. Thump, 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 thump. After hearing the thumping sounds, Li Yundong was stunned. Many people couldn't help but be startled. This sound was so strange. It was like the sound of a beating heart. What was the 11th item? Dongfang Yang didn't keep them in suspense. He lifted the silk cloth on the tray, and a fiery red rock appeared. A ball of flame gushed out from the rock. It was burning. It burned the void. The fiery red rock seemed to contain a heart. Dong, dong, dong. Dong, dong, dong. The noise became more and more intense, more and more urgent. Many people couldn't help but feel that their hearts were beating rapidly. Furthermore, his heart was in incomparable pain, as if it was about to split open. This feeling was incomparably terrible. Is this the legendary purgatory demon heart? At this time, a cultivator couldn't help but exclaim. It was the first time Lin Feng had heard of the purgatory demon heart. However, from the name, it seemed that this item should be related to the boundless purgatory. As for the use of the purgatory demon heart, Lin Feng didn't know. Dongfang Yang nodded and said, "That's right. It's the purgatory demon heart. There really is such a thing." Several cultivators who knew the origin of the purgatory demon heart couldn't help but exclaim, "What exactly is the purgatory demon heart?" Someone asked curiously. Like Lin Feng, he had never heard of the purgatory demon heart before. Chapter 35:14. The effect of the purgatory demon heart was so amazing that everyone was shocked. Even Lin Feng was shocked when he heard about the effects of the purgatory demon heart. He couldn't believe what he had just heard. However, Dongfang Yang obviously wasn't joking. The purgatory demon heart made everyone's heart pound. No one didn't want to obtain this supreme treasure. If they could refine it, it would play an extremely important role in their cultivation. What do you need to exchange for the purgatory demon heart? Someone couldn't wait to ask. They wanted to know how to exchange for the purgatory demon heart. Almost everyone's attention was on the purgatory demon heart. No one could resist the temptation of this supreme treasure. Of course, the purgatory demon heart was also very attractive to Lin Feng. Lin Feng also wanted to know what kind of treasure was needed to exchange for the purgatory demon heart. Dongfang Yang said, "Sun Moon Divine Essence." Who among them had something like this? The other party needed the Sun and Moon Divine Essence. If anyone can take out the Sun Moon Divine Essence, the purgatory demon heart will belong to that person. Lin Feng was a knowledgeable person, but this was the first time he had heard of the Sun Moon Divine Essence. Just from the name, One could tell that the Sun-Moon Divine Essence was a very rare and precious item. When the rest of the cultivators heard the words Sun-Moon Divine Essence, they were all puzzled. They didn't know what the Sun-Moon Divine Essence was. Someone asked, Sun-Moon Divine Essence? What kind of treasure is that? Dongfangyang said, It's said that the Sun and Moon Divine Essence is a kind of energy essence formed when the Sun and the Moon merge together. But I don't know what it's used for. I only heard about it from the client. That's right. It seems that the Sun-Moon Divine Essence is definitely a supreme treasure. However, I've never heard of it before, let alone take it out. It's as difficult as ascending to heaven. A cultivator said at this time. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. Just as the cultivator said, he had never heard of the Sun-Moon Divine Essence before. Moreover, it was too difficult to take out something like the Sun-Moon Divine Essence. Although they couldn't take out the Sun-Moon Divine Essence, many people were very interested in the Purgatory Demon Heart. Therefore, someone asked, Can we use other treasures to replace the Sun and Moon Divine Essence in exchange for that cultivator? Dongfangyang said, No, that cultivator wants the Sun and Moon Divine Essence. As for other things, he is not interested in them. Therefore, if you want to get the Purgatory Demon Heart, you have to exchange it with the Sun and Moon Divine Essence. Other than that, you can't get the Sun and Moon Divine Essence. Hearing this, many cultivators frowned. If the other party only wanted the Sun-Moon Divine Essence, didn't that mean that no one would have a chance to obtain the Purgatory Demon Heart? If someone possessed the Sun-Moon Divine Essence, they would have taken it out long ago. It wouldn't have dragged on until now. I don't have the Sun-Moon Divine Essence here, but I do have a piece of crystal formed by condensing the Sun-Moon Divine Essence. Suddenly, a cultivator spoke up. Turning around, everyone saw that it was a young cultivator. This young cultivator was very handsome. He wore a long blue robe, which made him look very otherworldly. He spoke slowly and politely, and his eyes were gentle. He looked harmless, but no one dared to let their guard down. In the world of cultivators, the more harmless a cultivator looked, the more dangerous he was. The more dangerous he was, the more dangerous he was. For example, Lin Feng. He also looked harmless, handsome, sunny, and gentle. But in fact, Lin Feng's combat strength was terrifying and he killed decisively. However, the young cultivator in front of him gave Lin Feng a very dangerous feeling. The man held a purple crystal in his hand and handed it to Dongfangyang. Dongfangyang's eyes lit up when he saw the purple crystal. He said, This kind of Sun and Moon Divine Essence is more precious. I'll take this crystal formed by the Sun and Moon Divine Essence. As for the Purgatory Demon Heart, it's yours. Okay. The young cultivator nodded and put away the Purgatory Demon Heart. The others shook their heads and sighed. It seemed that they had missed the opportunity to get the Purgatory Demon Heart, so they were naturally disappointed. Where did this person come from? He can even take out a crystal formed by the Sun and Moon Divine Essence. He's quite extraordinary. Lin Feng couldn't help but ponder. The others were also guessing the identity of that cultivator. However, no one knew where that young cultivator came from. There was only one last item left in the trade fair. Dongfangyang asked someone to bring up the last item. This item was actually a mysterious, or the size of a fist. That piece of, or was emitting a strange energy. When everyone looked at that piece of, or, a strange energy was emitted. The eyes of all the cultivators became confused. The ore was extremely strange. It seemed to have the power to make people fall into an illusion. The power to make people fall into an illusion was very terrifying. Once eroded by that power, the cultivator would be unable to extricate himself. Even a few emperor-level experts in the room fell into the illusion. They couldn't move their bodies and couldn't walk out of the illusion. This situation was extremely bad. If they couldn't walk out of the illusion, others could kill them at any time, until they died. They might not even know how they died. Among everyone present, Lin Feng was the first cultivator to walk out of the illusion. Lin Feng's mind power was strong, his will was firm, and he also had the protection of the primal chaos ancient lamp. Therefore, Lin Feng's soul quickly broke through the illusion and successfully walked out. After Lin Feng woke up, the cultivator who exchanged for the Purgatory Demon Heart also walked out of the illusion. Seeing that Lin Feng was the first cultivator to walk out of the illusion, The cultivator couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Several Emperor Sect level experts also walked out of the illusory realm. Then, the Emperor level, Immortal Emperor, and God Emperor level cultivators walked out of the illusion. As for the Boundary Emperor level cultivators, they didn't show any signs of walking out of the illusion. "Wake up!" Dongfang Yang shouted in a low voice. Only then did the Quasi-Emperor realm cultivators wake up from the illusion. "What is this stone? Why is it so strange?" An Emperor-level expert couldn't help but ask. He thought of how the stone instantly made him fall into the illusion. Chapter 35:15. It's said to be a treasure passed down from the Western universe. It's called the Reaper's Fantasy Stone. It's said that when this stone is used, it can form a powerful illusion. When this illusion is formed, it means that the god of death is about to arrive. The Reaper's Fantasy Stone has a wide range of applications. For example, it can be used to refine a powerful magic treasure, or it can be polished into the shape of a crystal core and embedded in one's own magic treasure. Dongfang Yang explained. Everyone was shocked when they heard about the Reaper's Fantasy Stone. The Reaper's Fantasy Stone was too extraordinary. Moreover, everyone had only taken a glance at the Reaper's Fantasy Stone, and they had been mesmerized to varying degrees. It was difficult for them to extricate themselves from the illusion. This showed how terrifying the Reaper's Fantasy Stone was. One had to know that no one had activated the Reaper's Fantasy Stone earlier, but it had already displayed such a terrifying effect. What if someone had activated the Reaper's Fantasy Stone? What can I use to exchange for this treasure? Someone asked. The Dragon Origin Core. Who has it? Dongfang Yang said. Clearly, the other party wanted a treasure like the Dragon Origin Core. What's the Dragon Origin Core? Many cultivators revealed puzzled expressions. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. He had heard of the Dragon Origin Core before. The Origin Core referred to the origin. The Dragon Origin Core referred to the origin of dragons. The Dragon Origin Core was said to be a crystal born from the Dragon Origin Core. It was also called the Dragon Crystal. However, Lin Feng wasn't very clear about the Dragon Origin Core's specific use. He had only read about it in a Taoist scripture. But the Taoist scriptures had very limited information about the core of the dragon origin, so Lin Feng hadn't been able to read too much about the core of the dragon origin in the scriptures. Although he had a certain understanding of the heart of the dragon origin from the Tao scripture, it was only a very superficial understanding. On a deeper level, everything was a mystery. More and more cultivators asked Dongfang Yang about the Dragon Origin Core. Dongfang Yang explained, the Dragon Origin Core is a mysterious crystal born from the Dragon Origin Core. It's said that this crystal can only be born from the Dragon Origin Core before the death of an extremely powerful Dragon Origin Core. Lin Feng was very surprised. The scripture he had read didn't have such an introduction. Dragons with extremely powerful bloodlines were extremely rare. If the Dragon Origin Core, it would be even more difficult to find a suitable Dragon Origin Core. Therefore, the Dragon Origin Core was extremely precious. What a pity. I can't take it out. Lin Feng frowned. If he had the Dragon Origin Core, he would have been able to obtain the Reaper's Dragon Origin Core. However, the Reaper's Reaperess therefore. Lin Feng didn't have any illusions about the Death God's Illusion Stone anymore. Even though Lin Feng was interested in the Death God's Illusion Stone, he didn't really need it. The effect of the Death God Fantasy Stone was terrifying. However, if he kept borrowing the power of the Reaper's Fantasy Stone, he would easily become dependent on it. If the Reaper's Fantasy Stone was damaged or stolen in the future, his body would become heavily dependent on the Reaper's Fantasy Stone. If he couldn't use the Reaper's Fantasy Stone to fight, he would easily have a mental breakdown. Wouldn't it be a dead end then? Therefore, it might not be a bad thing if he couldn't get the Reaper's Fantasy Stone. I have the Dragon Origin Core. Reaper's Fantasy Stone? I want it. An Emperor-level expert said aloud. Then he took out a porcelain bottle. Groan. A high-pitched dragon roar came from the porcelain bottle. A small dragon could be vaguely seen twisting its body in the porcelain bottle. That small dragon should be transformed from the Dragon Origin Core. The transaction for the last supreme treasure was completed. Dongfang Yang said with a smile, everyone, it's getting late. Our auction house has prepared the best spiritual food banquet. Please follow this old man. Everyone nodded and followed Dongfang Yang to participate in the spiritual food banquet. After the banquet, Lin Feng, Dongfang Tuahai, and Yu Simon returned to the Dongfang family. Lin Feng was still waiting for Emperor Lone Wolf to come out of seclusion. However, when Emperor Lone Wolf would come out was not something Lin Feng could decide. In the next few days, Lin Feng had been cultivating in seclusion. On the fourth day, Dongfang Tuahai came to see Lin Feng in person. Emperor Lone Wolf had come out of seclusion. Lin Feng and Yu Simon followed Dongfang Tuahai to see Emperor Lone Wolf. Emperor Lone Wolf looked to be in his 40s and was thin. However, his eyes were brimming with vigor and were incomparably breathtaking. Few people dared to look him in the eyes. Simon greets Emperor Lone Wolf. When Yu Simon saw Emperor Lone Wolf, she bowed to him. Little sea man, there's no need to be so courteous with your uncle. I've already heard about your father. Your father and I were friends of life and death back then, so I won't ignore your father's matters. However, rescuing your father isn't a trivial matter. It involves many things, so you need to wait calmly for a period of time. We also need to make a good plan. Emperor Lone Wolf said. Lin Feng was surprised. It was said that the Wolf clan was sinister and cunning. However, Emperor Lone Wolf did not seem to be such a person. He looked very sincere. Lin Feng did not doubt Emperor Lone Wolf's words. If he did not want to agree to help a powerhouse like Emperor Lone Wolf, he would directly say it. He would definitely say it directly. There was no need to lie to Yu Simon. Thank you for your help, uncle. Yu Simon hurriedly looked at Sovereign Lone Wolf. Previously, she had been rejected everywhere and suffered humiliation. Now, she had finally found a senior powerhouse who was willing to rescue her father. Therefore, Yu Simon was very excited. Lin Feng could now display the battle prowess of an Emperor Realm Master. In addition, Emperor Lone Wolf, who was an Emperor Realm Master, was very likely to rescue her father. Yu Simon was very clear about this. She really wanted to rescue her father now. However, Yu Simon knew that at this time, she needed to listen to Lin Feng and Emperor Lone Wolf. Are you Lin Feng, the one who caused a lot of commotion? You're really a young hero. Emperor Lone Wolf looked at Lin Feng and said with a smile, Senior, you're too polite. Lin Feng could not help but cup his fists. Emperor Lone Wolf said, I'm not being polite, but I'm just expressing my feelings. It's finally reassuring that Simon can find a home like you. Lin Feng smiled slightly and did not say anything more on this topic. Emperor Lone Wolf continued, We might not be able to save Supreme Myriad Star by ourselves. We still need to find a few helpers. You guys rest for a while. I'll personally go and visit some old friends. Hearing this, Yu Simon was overjoyed. Chapter 35:16. Originally, Yu Simon still had a few people to visit. However, those people were not only friends of Yu Simon's father, Supreme Venerable Myriad Star. They were also friends of Supreme Venerable Lone Wolf. Therefore, it was naturally much better for Supreme Venerable Lone Wolf to visit those powerhouses than for Yu Simon to visit those powerhouses. In the following period of time, Lin Feng had been in seclusion. He was cultivating the 3,000 great Daos he had obtained, hoping to complete the cultivation of the 3,000 great Daos as soon as possible. Every time he cultivated one of the 3,000 great Daos, his combat strength would increase greatly. Because the starry sky was vast and boundless, even an expert like Supreme Venerable Lone Wolf would need to spend a lot of time visiting his old friends in different star domains. Therefore, in the blink of an eye, a year had passed. In this year, Lin Feng had not successfully cultivated the Great Wish technique of the 3,000 great Daos he had obtained previously. Lin Feng had successfully cultivated the rest of the divine abilities. The Great Wish technique was an unparalleled ultimate technique. Lin Feng had tried to comprehend the Great Wish technique many times, but he had not succeeded. From this, it could be seen how difficult it was to cultivate the Great Wish technique. Lin Feng had already obtained 2,510 types of 3,000 great Daos. Now, apart from the Great Wish technique, he had not successfully cultivated it. Lin Feng had successfully cultivated the remaining 2,509 types of 3,000 great Daos. Now, Lin Feng's comprehension of the Tao had reached an unimaginable level. He let out a soft cry. It was like the sound of the Tao shaking the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Now, Lin Feng could already start his own sect. He was recruiting disciples. In this world, there were probably not many people who had cultivated more of the 3,000 great Daos than Lin Feng. At present, Lin Feng only knew of the Red World Fairy. Lin Feng did not know about the rest for the time being. However, the Red World Fairy was a very special example. There was a reason why she had been able to obtain 3,000 types of 3,000 great Daos in the past. Lin Feng was different. Lin Feng's 3,000 great Daos were obtained by relying on his own ideas. It was unknown how much effort he had gone through. It was unknown how many times he had experienced life and death situations. In the end, he collected 2,510 types of 3,000 great Daos. Right now, there were only 490 types of the 3,000 great Daos left to collect. The day after Lin Feng came out of seclusion, Emperor Lone Wolf returned. Along with Venerable Lone Wolf, there were 3 other masters, all of whom were venerable emperors. The first expert was a sage-like old man. He wore a Taoist robe and had a smile on his face. This Taoist was called the Holy Ground Old Man. The second expert was a beautiful woman in a purple dress. This beautiful woman had an enchanting figure, an enchanting face, and a charming temperament. There was a boundless charm in her eyes. Just a casual glance was enough to captivate a person's soul. Vixen. This was the best way to describe this beautiful woman. This beautiful woman was the incarnation of a demon race cultivator from the starry skies, and her ancestor was of the fox bloodline. However, in her generation, she was already in human form when she was born. Only a portion of her clan members who had returned to their ancestral roots could transform. This female cultivator was called Thousand Twists. This name was extremely strange. Of course, this name was just a code name. Lin Feng had also heard of an even stranger name. He had also seen it before. The third expert was a child who looked to be 8 or 9 years old. He had 2 pigtails and his body was always surrounded by flames. He held a red, tasseled spear in his hand. This person was not to be underestimated. He was called the Flame Emperor. The reason why his body did not grow up was said to be because he was robbed when he was young. His entire family was killed, and he was also hit. Fortunately, he was rescued. However, his body suffered extremely serious injuries, so from then on, his body could no longer grow up. However, the injuries to his body did not affect his cultivation. Seniors, Lin Feng and Yu Simon both bowed to the 3 of them. When the 3 of them looked at Yu Simon, they more or less revealed a smile. Yu Simon should have met them before. After all, these 3 were not only friends of the Lone Wolf Emperor, but also friends of the Myriad Star Emperor. However, when they looked at Lin Feng, their gazes could not help but become somewhat indifferent. These emperors were all high and mighty existences. In the face of a young human cultivator like Lin Feng who they had never met before, it was naturally impossible for them to show a particularly warm expression. This is the Holy Ground Elder. This is Empress Thousand Twists. This is the Flame Emperor. This is Lin Feng. I believe everyone has heard of the name Lin Feng, right? The Lone Wolf Emperor introduced the 2 sides. After hearing the 2 words Lin Feng, the 3 people, who were originally quite indifferent, revealed extremely surprised expressions. They did not expect that this seemingly ordinary cultivator in front of them was actually Lin Feng, who had been the talk of the town during this period of time, killing the emperors of myriad countries, destroying the Morong clan and the evil demon bandits, forcing the 4 emperors to take the initiative to ask for peace. One thing after another, who knew how many people were shocked. The 3 emperors naturally heard of the name Lin Feng like thunder. It was just that they had never seen him before. Now, they finally saw him. Is this kid pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger? The 3 emperors could not help but secretly curse. If they had known that this young cultivator in front of them was Lin Feng, naturally, everyone would be polite to him. They would not be as rude as before. The world of cultivators had always been so realistic. This was a world where strength was respected. Strength. Others would value you. Strength was weak. Others would look down on you. Since they lived under such rules, then they had to have the ability to adapt to these rules. So its little friend Lin Feng. Sorry for the disrespect. The three emperors cupped their fists in greeting. Three seniors are too polite, said Lin Feng while smiling. He looked as carefree as before. At this time, the three emperors were extremely surprised. They realized that Lin Feng's mental fortitude was incredible. Even when he was facing Zundi cultivators like them, he didn't care. He always had this kind of indifferent expression. No wonder. Lin Feng was so powerful at such a young age. All of this seemed to be a sign. Let's discuss the rescue of Supreme Emperor Myriad Star now, Emperor Lone Wolf said. He felt that at this moment, it had reached a point where there was no time to delay. After all, the longer Supreme Emperor Myriad Star was imprisoned, the more dangerous it would be for him. Okay. Everyone nodded and had no objections. 6 hours later, Lin Feng, Emperor Lone Wolf, the Holy Ground Old Man, Qian Baoran, and the Flame Emperor set off together. They flew quickly towards the Myriad Immortals planet, where Supreme Emperor Myriad Star was imprisoned. 3 months later, a huge planet came into sight, and it was none other than Myriad Immortals planet. Chapter 35:17. We've arrived at Myriad Immortals planet. Emperor Lone Wolf took a deep breath and said. Everyone looked at Myriad Immortals planet with solemn expressions. The only thing they knew now was that the force that attacked was from the Undying Realm. They knew nothing about other things, such as how many experts there were on Myriad Immortals planet. Then we'll act according to the original plan. The four of us will feign an attack. We'll lure the experts on Myriad Immortals planet, and Lin Feng will sneak into Myriad Immortals City to rescue Supreme Myriad Immortals. Emperor Lone Wolf said. Wait, Lin Feng suddenly said. Does little friend Lin have a different opinion? Old Man Holy Ground asked. I've recently cultivated a powerful secret technique. Perhaps it can come in handy at this time. Lin Feng said. Oh, a powerful secret technique? Everyone looked at Lin Feng in astonishment. They had heard of Lin Feng's means. It was said that Lin Feng had mastered many extraordinary means. Therefore, it attracted many people's attention. Therefore, many major forces besieged Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded. Then, he took out the Book of the Dead. During his trip to Myriad Immortals planet, Lin Feng had been comprehending the summoning technique in the Book of the Dead. The Book of the Dead. It could summon the terrifying dead spirits of the netherworld. The level of the dead spirits that could be summoned and the cultivation base of the cultivator who performed the summoning technique had a lot to do with the summoning technique in the Book of the Dead. The Book of the Dead was extremely strange. Back then, Yan's realm was unfathomable. However, when he cultivated the 19th technique, he encountered a tribulation. After his physical body was destroyed, his soul had to enter the Book of the Dead to ensure his soul was not destroyed. After countless years, Yin gradually merged with the Book of the Dead and became the weapon spirit of the Book of the Dead. When Lin Feng cultivated the summoning technique in the Book of the Dead, he communicated with Yin a lot. As long as there was something he did not understand, Lin Feng would ask Yin for advice. Therefore, with Yan's help, Lin Feng quickly and safely cultivated the 18 summoning techniques. As for the 19th summoning technique, Lin Feng did not cultivate it. Firstly, there was no time for him to practice the 19th summoning technique. The second reason was because Yin was so powerful back then, but he still suffered a backlash and died when he cultivated the 19th summoning technique. Lin Feng was naturally very fearful. Therefore, Lin Feng wanted to wait until he had enough time to study the 19th summoning technique. When everyone saw the Book of the Undead, their pupils violently shrank. They did not recognize the Book of the Dead. However, they sensed a sinister and terrifying aura from the Book of the Dead. That aura, it made everyone feel suffocated. The origin of the Book of the Dead was definitely extraordinary and incomparably evil. This guy's cultivation method is so heterogeneous. He even has such an evil treasure. I wonder if this evil treasure will take control of my body in the future. In the end, he became a slave to the evil treasure. The four great emperors couldn't help but think to themselves. From their point of view, gains and losses were proportional. Therefore, They felt that it was not necessarily a good thing for Lin Feng to have such an evil treasure. However, the four great emperors' vision was still much smaller. Lin Feng's ambition was to become the new human emperor and lead the human race to seek a chance to survive in this chaotic world. Even Lin Feng hoped that the human race's bloodline could live to the next era. Therefore, a mere Book of the Dead could not affect Lin Feng at all. Of course, others would not be able to understand this point. Undead creatures sleeping in the undead world quickly wake up. I will bring you into the world of living creatures and let you feel the aura of the world of living creatures again. Lin Feng began to chant an incantation. This incantation was chanted in an extremely ancient undead language. Only those terrifying undead creatures. No one could understand the content of Lin Feng's incantation. The current Lin Feng seemed to have transformed into an immortal lord of the undead. His voice was mysterious, ancient, and immortal. The Book of the Dead played an extremely crucial role at this time. The Book of the Dead not only recorded these summoning techniques. In addition to the summoning techniques, the Book of the Dead, it was also a medium for cultivators to communicate with the undead world. In other words, even if they mastered those summoning techniques, if they did not have a treasure like the Book of the Dead, when the time came, cultivators would still be unable to communicate with the undead in the undead world. Through the Book of the Dead, Lin Feng seemed to see a vast and boundless world. That world was filled with the aura of death everywhere. That world was the world of the undead. That world was eerie, terrifying, and terrifying. Crack, crack. Suddenly, the ground cracked open. Skeletal palms stretched out from the cracked ground. Then, skeletal creatures crawled out from the cracked ground. Who is summoning us? Those undead creatures looked up and asked, "The great emperor of the human race is summoning you. Return to the world of the living and fight for the emperor of the human race. In the future, this emperor will erect a monument and build a tomb for you, and open the 6 paths of reincarnation for you so that one day you can escape the calamity and return." Lin Feng's voice resounded above the undead world. "Humph! What emperor of the human race? Do you think we are easy to deceive?" One of the undead could not help but snort coldly. These undead were very powerful. Therefore, they could sense some of Lin Feng's real situation. Therefore, they knew Lin Feng was not the emperor of the human race. After being exposed, Lin Feng did not feel embarrassed. He said, "Although I am not the emperor of the human race now, but I will definitely be the emperor of the human race in the future. Now, as the future emperor of the human race, the owner of the Book of the Dead, I am officially summoning you to serve me. Are you willing?" The group of undead looked at each other. Next, the most powerful undead half knelt on the ground and then said, "We are willing to serve the future emperor of the human race." The rest of the undead also knelt on the ground and shouted together, "We are willing to serve the future emperor of the human race." Swish! There was a flash of light. These undead disappeared from the undead world without a trace. In the real world, boundless power of death began to churn in the void. In the power of death, terrifying undead creatures appeared one after another. When they saw those terrifying undead creatures, the expressions of the 4 emperors could not help but change drastically. The aura of each undead creature made them somewhat fearful, and those undead creatures were densely packed and innumerable. The summoning technique that Lin Feng used was really too terrifying. "Greetings, Lord." Chapter 35:18. Get up. Lin Feng waved his hand. All of a sudden, the densely packed undead stood up. "At all costs, attack this planet." Lin Feng pointed at Myriad Immortals' planet. Myriad Immortals' planet had completely fallen. The people inside had basically been slaughtered. Only Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star and the cultivators who imprisoned Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star were left. The origin of those cultivators was mysterious. The only thing that was known was that they came from the Undying Realm. Lin Feng even guessed that those people were likely to be a force formed by several forces in the Undying Realm. Those people's cultivation bases were very powerful, but so what? No matter how powerful they were, Lin Feng had summoned an undead army. This undead army was enough to hold the attention of countless forces in the Undying Realm. Kill! The undead leader growled and took the lead to rush toward Myriad Immortals' planet. Then, the densely packed undead rushed toward Myriad Immortals' planet. An endless aura of death filled the world. That terrifying aura was enough to make one's countenance change. Young friend Lin's means are really amazing. I admire you. The four supreme sovereigns all cupped their fists and said. They admired Lin Feng's means from the bottom of their hearts. Anyone who saw Lin Feng summon an undead army would be shocked. They would be the same as them. They would be deeply shocked. Haha, seniors, you are too polite. Let's enter Myriad Immortals' planet with the undead army. Lin Feng said with a smile. That's good. Let's enter Myriad Immortals' planet together and act according to the circumstances. Flame's Supreme Sovereign said. Everyone nodded and quickly flew toward Myriad Immortals' planet. Myriad Immortals' planet used to be a prosperous planet. Now, Myriad Immortals' planet was full of destruction and death. Along the way, white bones could be seen. Myriad Immortals' planet had completely changed from a dazzling, lively, and prosperous planet to a withered, dead planet. Looking at the dilapidated Myriad Immortals' planet, Lin Feng could not help but sigh. He had heard some of the situation of Myriad Immortals' planet from you, Simon. There were about 6 to 7 billion permanent residents on Myriad Immortals' planet. Together with the floating population, there were about 8 to 9 billion people. However, when the Great Battle came, only a small number of people managed to escape. At that time, Lin Feng did not understand at all, even though the people from the undead realm were extremely powerful. After all, they were few in number. There was no way they could have massacred so many people. It was only later that Lin Feng found out. It turned out that the people of the Undying Realm had directly used the sacrificial technique. Those people from the Undying Realm had treated all the people on Myriad Immortals' planet as sacrificial offerings. As a result, countless people were sacrificed alive. There were simply too few people who managed to escape. Just like that, Myriad Immortals' planet was destroyed. So many living beings had been sacrificed alive. It was simply too tragic. However, in the eyes of those in the Undying Realm, sacrificing billions of people was like killing a group of ants. In their eyes, the weak were all ants. So what if he killed him? It couldn't even cause any ripples in their hearts. These people from the Undying Realm were too heartless. However, they were powerful enough to treat all living beings mercilessly. The undead army finally arrived at the Myriad Star City, guarded by the experts of the Undying Realm. The Myriad Star City was heavily guarded. Looking from afar, one could see that the Myriad Star City was like a giant primeval beast that resided on the ground. It was majestic and heavy. It gave people a sense of suffocation. Above the Myriad Star City, there were many cultivators patrolling back and forth. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens to sneak into the Myriad Star City quietly. Of course, Lin Feng and the others didn't think of sneaking into the city. They came openly and openly. The aura of death rolled and quickly surrounded the huge Myriad Star City. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! Those guards immediately shouted. At this moment, the undead army rushed over and fought with those guards. Puff! Puff! Bone knives pierced through the bodies of those guards. The flesh, blood, and soul essence of those guards were instantly devoured by those undead creatures. After devouring the flesh, blood, and soul essence of those guards, there were streaks of blood on the surface of those undead creatures. Those undead creatures seemed to want to grow new flesh and blood. Their methods were really amazing. Of course, there were also many undead creatures that were destroyed by those powerful guards. However, what was shocking was that those undead creatures didn't die after their bodies were destroyed. In the blink of an eye, their bodies recombined and returned to their original state. Undead creatures. The 4 Emperor-level powerhouses couldn't help but be shocked. Undead creatures were the most mysterious existence among the undead creatures. Why did those undead creatures have undead bodies? No one knew. Perhaps some people in the undead world knew. But in the world of the living, this was a big secret. Undead creatures meant that you couldn't kill them. This kind of undead creature was extremely terrifying and was the most suitable army for large-scale battles. Just like everything that was happening now. After the guards of the undead world destroyed the bodies of the undead creatures could quickly recombine and couldn't be killed at all. However, the damage caused by those undead creatures was extremely serious. If they were careless, they might be killed by those undead creatures. Kill all these people. Don't leave a single one alive. The leader of the undead creatures shouted loudly. The densely packed undead creatures charged into the depths of the Myriad Star City. The cultivators of the undead world in the depths of the Myriad Star City were also alarmed and quickly rushed out. Among them, there were even 6 Emperor-level powerhouses. Now, the densely packed cultivators and the undead creatures were engaged in a fierce battle. "Let's go to the heavenly prison," Lin Feng said. The heavenly prison was a place where prisoners were imprisoned. Previously, Simon told Lin Feng that the heavenly prison was made of forbidden magic stone. It imprisoned all magic power. Therefore, the Supreme Master of Myriad Star was imprisoned in the heavenly prison. Soon, Lin Feng and the other 4 arrived at the heavenly prison. There were many experts here. There were several Emperor-level experts guarding the heavenly prison. However, these people were no match for Lin Feng and the others. Lin Feng and the other 4 started a massacre and killed everyone. Then, they broke open the heavenly prison and entered it. In the depths of the heavenly prison, a cultivator was imprisoned here. His shoulder blades were pierced by chains. "Brother Yu, we're here to save you," Supreme Master Lone Wolf shouted loudly. Obviously, the cultivator whose shoulder blades were pierced by chains was Simon's father, Supreme Master of Myriad Star. At this time, Supreme Master of Myriad Star, whose eyes had been closed and whose aura was weak, opened his eyes. Chapter 35:19. A sage emperor was stronger than an emperor. It was simply unimaginable how powerful a sage emperor was. An emperor was an invincible figure who dominated a star field, and a sage emperor was the master of the sea of stars. Only when many star fields were combined together could they form the starry sea, and a sage emperor controlled such a huge sea of stars, high and mighty, looking down at billions of living beings. Such a powerhouse was not someone an emperor realm cultivator could contend against. Therefore, when he heard Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star say that there was a sage emperor guarding this place, he was shocked. Everyone's expression changed drastically. This place was a trap. It was to lure the person who rescued Supreme Emperor Myriad Star here. Then, they would be wiped out in one fell swoop. "You can't leave. Since you're here, you can't leave." An icy voice could be heard all of a sudden. Then, a middle-aged cultivator walked towards the crowd. This middle-aged cultivator blocked the way out. This middle-aged cultivator should be the Sage Emperor cultivator that Supreme Emperor Myriad Star had mentioned. Although he did not exude any powerful aura. However, when everyone faced this middle-aged cultivator, they still felt an aura of despair from this middle-aged cultivator. How powerful this middle-aged cultivator was had completely exceeded the understanding of Lin Feng and the others. A sage emperor, standing at the top of the starry sky, looking down on all living beings. Who could contend with a sage emperor cultivator? At the very least, it was absolutely impossible for an emperor cultivator to do this. 5 great experts. They looked at this sage emperor cultivator with a solemn expression. What a bunch of idiots. Why don't you think about which forces from? In our eyes, your wishful thinking is simply stupid. This sage emperor cultivator was extremely arrogant and mocked. "I've implicated everyone." Supreme Emperor Myriad Star blamed himself. "Brother Yu, please don't say that. When we decided to take action, we had already expected all kinds of possible outcomes." Supreme Emperor Lone Wolf licked his lips and said, reminiscing about the past, "I really miss the 1,000 years when we trained together in the starry sky world. No matter what the outcome is today, we will never regret it." The Flame Emperor said, "This is a forbidden space. Our magic power is restricted. If we work together, we might be able to deal with this person." The old man couldn't help but ask, "Little friend Lin, we'll stop this person first?" You go and save brother Yu. No problem. Please be careful, Lin Feng said. He leaped out and arrived in front of the prison door. Then, he punched the door. A loud bang was heard. Lin Feng punched the cell door. Surprisingly, the prison door was still intact. The Shangdi cultivator looked at Lin Feng mockingly. Even if a great emperor doesn't have a treasure, it would be difficult for him to break through the door. You, a tiny little insect, think you can break through the door? Wishful thinking. The Saint Emperor did not take Lin Feng seriously at all. Lin Feng pursed his lips and ignored this person. This prison door was indeed incomparably hard. But so what? He might not necessarily be unable to break open this prison door. Open for me. Lin Feng grabbed the chain wrapped around the prison door. Then, with a loud shout, all the strength in his body suddenly burst out. Crack, crack. The chain wrapped around the prison door was directly broken by Lin Feng. The prison door was opened by Lin Feng. You, the sage emperor's face could not help but suddenly sink. He did not expect Lin Feng to actually break open the prison door. What kind of broken door is this? It's not difficult to open it at all. If you can't open it, it can only mean that you're too useless. Lin Feng looked at the sage emperor and could not help but mock. Hearing this, the sage emperor's mouth twitched violently. He looked at Lin Feng with a cold gaze. Little bastard, I won't let you die so easily later. I'll let you taste endless torture before taking your life, the sage emperor said coldly. Then, he leaped out. He charged toward the four sovereigns. He needed to deal with the four sovereigns first, then deal with Lin Feng. Attack. The four sovereigns could not help but shout coldly. They joined forces to attack the sage emperor. At this time, Lin Feng had already entered the prison. These chains are made of profound and extreme cold iron. There's no way to break them with physical strength. You need magic power to destroy them. Don't bother with me anymore. Quickly leave this place. As soon as he finished speaking, Sovereign Myriad Star revealed a dumbfounded expression. Because he saw, the young human cultivator grabbed a chain with both hands and suddenly exerted force. The chain directly shattered. 4 times in a row, all 4 chains were broken by Lin Feng. Sovereign Myriad Star's expression was full of shock. He could not believe his eyes. Such a hard chain was actually broken by the young human cultivator in front of him. Who was this kid? Why did he come to rescue him? After breaking 4 chains, Lin Feng grabbed Sovereign Myriad Star, who was almost unable to stand steadily. Then, he carried Sovereign Myriad Star on his back and quickly rushed out of the prison. At this time, the 4 sovereigns had blocked 2 attacks from the Sage Emperor. The 4 sovereigns could no longer resist the 3rd attack and were directly sent flying by the Sage Emperor. Barf. The 4 sovereigns. They vomited large mouthfuls of blood. Their faces became as pale as paper. The Sage Emperor was about to rush forward and kill the 4 sovereigns. With a punch, 4 fist shadows instantly enveloped the 4 sovereigns. The 4 sovereigns' expressions changed drastically. They were no longer able to resist the attack of the Sage Emperor. Die. The Saint Emperor had an indifferent look on his face. His voice was cold. The 4 sovereigns were about to be killed by him. At this moment, Lin Feng rushed over and swept a punch at the Sage Emperor. The fist momentum condensed. In an instant, it broke the 4 fist shadows. Then, boom, 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 bang, accompanied by the violent sound of collision. The ground shook violently. Then, ding ding ding. The 2 of them each took 3 steps back. They were actually evenly matched. Oh my god, little friend Lin's physical body is so strong? The 4 sovereigns were extremely shocked after being defeated by Lin Feng. Each of them was so shocked that they broke out in cold sweat. Luckily, Lin Feng had managed to block the Saint Emperor's attack. Otherwise, the 4 of them, just now, they would have been killed. I'll stop this person. You guys take Sovereign Myriad Star and leave. Lin Feng said. Little friend Lin, be careful. Sovereign Lone Wolf and the others supported Sovereign Myriad Star and then said. Then, the 4 of them quickly left with Sovereign Myriad Star. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.